That thing that I watched today, where he straight up said he's dead. That fucked me up. I'm not even.
Well, Al, how do you like? So I got this wine called Love My Goat.
You've got fucking problems.
Look at that! Look, there's a goat on the cover. How bad could it be?
No, the owl, the stag.
Yeah, it's like the goat was just freaking dipping his balls in that shit. Like
first it was the cock, and then the stag, and now the goat.
I mean, there was the moose puss before it all.
Something with animals and wine just isn't working for me. So
wine. I'm
going back to Seagram's. You're making me happy. I'm liking this. It's lemon straw.
If you want an animal on a freaking bottle of wine, just buy the Red Cat.
No, wasn't bad.
That shit is amazing.
Because Red Cat wine's actually good.
Yeah, well, we're always trying new things out, so.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, you're making me happy. So it's lemon strawberry, watermelon.
Is it making you happy?
It's getting that goat nuts out of my mouth right now. So.
Yeah, that's actually funny because that's what the one I'm going to is to make me happy.
That's what me and you say. That's cousins right there. We both share the taste of goat nuts.
God.
And besides, I also have the classic lime margarita.
Yeah, well, that's what
and
Elliot.
I'm probably gonna steal like 2/3 of what Elliot's got.
But see, like I told you, I drank a lot of your mics, and I gave you your own case back. So.
Well, there's 3 of them already over there. So
yeah, you like drank like the entire freaking. I'm pretty sure Kaya took like a couple.
No, because I actually I drank 6, and Elliot drank 2. So
I drank 1.
I thought you drank 2. So
no, you drank 8.
Well, I think 6 and 2. So.
Oh, I drank 1.
Well, it's close enough.
Trust me, when it comes to alcohol, I know.
There's no way in hell that your sister, out of, what was it, a 24 pack?
She's fucking, be surprised how much she...
I know she, trust me, I know what she can drink.
I'm getting back to that point
but
with my
still.
days.
Yeah, but either way, I gave you a 24 pack to make up for it. So.
Yeah.
You got 3 for me, so that's 27.
That's all right. She was loaded with Seagrams.
Yeah.
So wait, so what is it? Club Tail Sex on the Beach?
Yeah, it's a canned Sex on the Beach, and it's a little disappointing.
Oh, Ken and I tried this.
Yeah. All I'm missing is the sand in my ass crack, really.
Kaya stole the Bahama... No, she did not steal the Bahama Mamas on me. She stole the margaritas.
Oh. Wow, how you liking the You're Making Me Happy?
I like it.
Yeah.
Jamaican me, meh. How is it, meh? Jamaican me, meh.
No, like Sue would say, like, so last night, I went to go see first driving of 2020, and I seen New Mutants followed by Bill and Ted.
First one you went to?
Yeah. Nothing's been playing.
I've gone to like 2, even though they were older movies.
That's what I'm saying, but not well. So I wanted to see new stuff. Now, New Mutants was, I was telling you guys, surprisingly good. For what it was, I wasn't expecting something fantastic.
That's the one that had the played Arya in it, right?
Hearing her with an Irish accent's pretty funny. So, but no, that's what's funny is they were doing the promos.
What's his face from Stranger Things also in it?
Yeah.
The one who plays.
I forgot. This Christian's like, Dad, isn't it one kid from Stranger Things? But it was just funny with the development hell. Like they filmed it 3 years ago. So now all the kids doing this press release and are all 3 years older. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't, it's something I would definitely have, tell all 3 guys to watch. Special effects were really good.
At some point I'm going to.
Yeah, it's just like taking the mutants, like it was kind of like they do mention the X-Men, they even mention Professor X, and it's kind of like, what if their powers were so, it's like unpredictable or so out of control.
Was it produced through Fox or through Disney?
That's why it took so long for, because when they filmed it, then Disney bought Fox, and it's been stuck in limbo.
So it's been being produced through Disney.
Well, it's already, I guess, yeah, well distributed. But no, it wasn't bad. It wasn't said. It's like, definitely would take another watch. But like Bill and Ted 3 was good. Like Bill and Ted just, like telling these guys, in fact, it's been 30 fucking years since me Bill and Ted.
Gotta be honest with you, I haven't seen the first 2.
Watch. I haven't seen Bill and Ted 2 came out in 1991. Like, that's how old we are. But it surprisingly, it ages very well. It's like the jokes are still,
Oh, God, I'm that old? 5 years older than her?
I told these guys, Keanu and Alex Winter, their daughters, and to their credit, their daughters acted, they're just as fucking stupid as Bill and Ted. That makes it funny. So their kids are just as dumb as they are. And like, some people were kind of mad, like in part 2, it's like, this is little Bill and little Ted, like they had sons. But I do get the point, like, they're so dumb, they would call their daughters Bill and Ted. So it's like, it does make sense. Like, instead of Ted, he calls her Thea, and then Bill, it's like Billy, but, like little Billy, so.
Well, technically, if you call it a little by your name, it doesn't necessarily mean gender. It means it's your little child.
So, and just like, there's constant throwbacks, like, again, it's kind of like Bill and Ted Gotta Save Again in the future. George Collins' daughter's in it, and she plays Rufus's daughter, which is a nice throwback. At one point, they show a George Collins hologram
Nice.
which is really cool. So, and same thing. They go back through time, like they get Jimi Hendrix and stuff, and they get the this one black dude is like very big jazz player in the 20s. I forgot his name, a trumpet and stuff. But it just like going through. Basically, same plot as the first two, just like it's Bill and Ted with their daughters, and it's a good little family film. It's really good. It's for what it was. I was very shocked because you wonder, like, anytime you take a franchise from 20, like you waited 30 years to make a sequel, and like, how is this going to be any good? And fucking liked it. Me and Christian laughed a lot, like especially with Death. Death just makes that movie. Like the band broke up and stuff, and there was lawsuits. And is that the dog?
Yeah. Is
I
that
thought it was Al.
Yeah, Al's growling.
You thought I was growling?
I thought it was his stomach.
Jesus.
Oh my.
So yeah, so I'm laying down. I'm about to hop on Facebook. Hey guys, drive-ins for $10. Like I said, and you know what?
Yeah.
$10. I even brought Little Caesar's Pizza. I and Christian shared some Pepsi together, and for $10, it's like you can't beat that shit.
Oh man, she said she thought it was my stomach.
I didn't know it was LaRue freaking barking or it's like growling. I thought it was Al's stomach like growling.
So go get him a fucking Snickers bar or something.
It's like, Al, eat a Snickers. Why?
You're not yourself when you're
not yourself
hungry.
when you're hungry.
But yeah, so I'm hopping on Facebook and I want to say, hey guys, Bill and Ted was great. Then of course, like you say, the second I hop on Facebook, the first thing we got home about midnight.
Yeah.
So the first thing I freaking pop on, hey guys, and of course, when I click down the link, you're thinking, happens all the fucking time, Chadwick Boseman, it's probably some celebrity bullshit, some guys pranking, because it's happened a lot of times over the past couple of years. An actor supposedly dies, and you're like, it's bullshit. So, read the article, I'm like, oh, it's legit, like, fuck. And, yeah, of course, all day, and like you were saying, Sue, before we started pressing record, it was haunting, because, like, fuck, remember, 6 months ago, they showed Chadwick, and he looked really sickly and disturbing looking. Everyone's like, well, Christian Bale goes up and down his weight all the time. We thought Chadwick was...
there were people who were, like, talking a ton of shit about him.
Well, I know, but for me, I just thought that he was preparing for a new role. It's like, because actors, they always transform their bodies. Chris Hemsworth, like, most actors, they lose... So I seen Chadwick, I'm like, hey, he's probably, like, he's losing weight for an upcoming film. And,
Jackman, Wolverine.
Yeah.
He had to lose a ton of weight to look like old man Wolverine.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, and everyone said, like, almost like Kelly Preston. Remember, she died. Everyone's like, Kelly Preston had breast cancer, and nobody knew. So with Chadwick, he had this shit for years, and nobody knew.
That says a lot about him as an actor. Like,
well, some people do want they want to die with fucking dignity. They want to rest. They don't want to broadcast their life.
Like the privacy and stuff like that, I can get 100%. If I were in that situation, I wouldn't broadcast my life.
Yeah, some do and some don't.
But it says a lot about him as like his dedication to the craft, his dedication to being in those roles. That he was sick for 4 years and he was still filming all these different.
That's what scares me is just damn, 42 years old. I just turned
43.
See, the first one said 42. And then,
no, he was in the movie 42 where he played Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, well, see, I thought his age was 42.
No, he was 43.
But yeah, but even then, it's like, so figure, damn, but 4 years though means 39. He got diagnosed, and I just fucking turned 39. And yeah, just I made a post like everyone else, a million rest in pieces, and
rest in power.
Well wish to his family. And I said, somebody out there is it's just scary. And I've said this for years. Cancer doesn't care. Mm-hmm. Doesn't care about your race, your gender, if you're worth $5 or $5 billion. I mean, it's proof. He would have had a person like Chadwick would have had at least better doctors and probably better medicine nutrients than the average person would have had. And Steve Jobs was 52?
Yeah.
When Steve Jobs died, but Chadwick wasn't a billionaire, but still he would have had at least probably access to better doctors than the average Joe Blow. And even with that much fame, cancer doesn't fucking care. It's just colon cancer too. And the funny part, I see an article today that doctors were sharing. They've been saying the past 10 years, they're getting a very big rise in men with their colon cancer and digestive problems, and especially in America. It's, but look at our food. Look at our fucking men that are 50 and younger the past decade. They said they're getting disturbing numbers, how much colon cancer keeps going, and stomach cancer is going on the rise. And could be attributed, look at our generations of food compared to back then. So it's shit.
Having more people eat out rather than like stay at home and cook.
Or what's even in the food? We see it all the time. You know, it's like we've all
How
been
many
there.
hormones are actually being put into?
It's like I see. Go to Price Chopper, like dozen eggs. It's like $3 for a dozen eggs. Go to the organic egg section. I can't afford that shit. And why is it? What's with those organic eggs or those organic tomatoes and shit? Why is it so much more expensive? And it's like, what long term effects does it have on your body? Shit,
Yeah.
like. But and top of two, yeah, he was in great shape. You figure, like, but not even just Black Panther. He's always been in great shape, you know. And just like, fuck,
it's
man.
crazy to like. I'm not sure if it was like his first acting role, but like your mom was a huge like soap opera fan back in like the 90s and stuff. She liked Days of Our Lives. My mom was a huge fan of the soap opera All My Children.
I remember that.
Like one of his like. It probably wasn't like his first acting role, but one of his first ones was he appeared on there as a character.
Well, again,
which funny, the character he portrayed when they replaced him with Michael B. Jordan.
I was just gonna say like Johnny Depp before Black Panther came, which is his big payday and put him on the map.
Yeah.
Before Black Panther, he's been in a shit ton of movies. It's not like people think like Panther was like his first role. No, he's been in a lot of films before Panther.
Egypt.
Yeah, it's like, but even to say his IMDb list is freaking huge.
I only know him in two. Well,
played
three.
Jackie
Black
Robinson.
He
Panther,
played,
Civil War, Endgame, that, and Gods of
Sometimes
Egypt.
it's how it is.
That's
Listen, but even Johnny Depp, I mean, for like, besides like people like us who are movie buffs, but a lot of people out there who not in the films, average people didn't know Johnny Depp for much. Then fucking
Edward Scissorhands, Bonnie and June.
even then, so mostly he was like
Crybaby.
before like Pirates.
Yeah.
You
The
think
very first movie was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
which how many people don't know? Well, I would say the average person before Pirates, if you say Johnny Depp, they would say Edward Scissorhands. That's just like what he was known for. And shit.
I would say Bonnie and June. I like that more than Edward Scissorhands.
But even like Downey, what was his like before Iron Man? What was Downey's
Weird
big
Science?
Yeah, and which came out with like
such a good movie.
85.
it really was, which would never get made nowadays.
Why not? I want to make
It's
a
on
woman.
HBO, and like I want to like watch it.
I'm sure there's probably the damn disclaimer.
Yeah. Dear people, this is kind of raunchy. No, it's not. It's beautiful. Making women off the internet using pictures.
Kelly
Fucking love
LeBrock
it.
back in the day. Christ.
Oh my god.
God.
What would you little maniacs like to do now?
Oh, I bet she still looks good.
And last time I seen her at age.
Hey, you know what? Some women are like wine; they only get finer with
No,
age.
some do. Like I mentioned, listen to the Drinker, Sue, like telling these guys about. He did this whole 4-hour thing about Commando. At one point, him and the guy would talk about like Selma Hayek. Selma Hayek at 52 looks better than most women in their fucking 20s. Like,
Good God.
some people just age like that, you know.
You
It's
see
like,
her naked
You know the first time I saw Selma Hayek was in the movie Dust Till Dawn. She did that dance with the snake.
fucking snake.
And even then, like, even though then I didn't know who she was, she was the most gorgeous woman I have fucking seen on.
Yeah.
That's one of the freaking jokes Sandler has in the freaking Grown Ups movie.
Yeah.
He's talking to the one kid, and he's like, and they're like, he can't get a girlfriend, he's fugly, and he's like, so am I, and I got a hot chick like your mom, and it's like,
yeah, and he goes, he's like, it almost makes you look like, because that kind of thing will only happen inside of a movie, and you're like, yeah, we know Sandler.
I mean, just
but
watch.
then you see his real life wife, and she's
Desperado.
beautiful too, so it's like,
Yeah.
damn, dude.
her and Antonio Banderas. Well, he actually just got over COVID, so good for him, you know. He just
Of
turned
course, it's Antonio Banderas. He was Zorro. Come on.
Exactly.
that first, the second one I did not like. I'll admit that first one, though. Fuck that first one's a classic,
It
man.
was too stupid. The
Something
second
about-
I mean,
one was
people say a
little
lot of
too-
shit about the freaking Expendables movies. Well, Expendable
Yeah.
third.
That
third
third
one.
one was oh god.
There's just
But
too many people.
Antonio
to care
Banderas
about.
freaking made that.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, I want to be an Expendable, and they're like,
Yeah.
no.
Expendables.
Desperado was the movie for him.
Yeah.
In Mexico with Johnny Depp
Yeah, Once Upon a
too.
Time in
Jesus.
Mexico or Desperado. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them you get to see her
That's why I say
her naked too. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying go watch the movies.
the two legendary actors, directors, Quentin and fucking Robert Rodriguez. That's why when they did Death Proof, I'm like, I just in a heartbeat, I went to fucking see that. And then of course, the bullshit trailer for Machete was so popular by the
Machete.
bullshit trailer, they give him his own fucking movie, which is
Yeah.
glorious.
No, they
Like-
gave him two movies.
Yeah,
You're right.
that's
Machete.
Machete went to
Machete
space too.
kills.
Well,
That's the next one.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
Machete
No,
2.
that's
they wanted to go more, but Machete 2 bombed, which is because I love Machete 2, but it's just.
Come on, there was Steven Seagal in it as a bad guy. That was kind of funny. I'm like, dude,
It was
what
so
the fuck
bad.
has he been eating? He's like 3 times his normal size.
Yeah.
It's like he shouldn't have played a cook in Under Siege. That's what got him all those delicious meals.
Remember that show he did where he was a real life cop?
Oh
He
my
actually
god!
became a
It
cop
was
in
a
real life.
lawman.
Some
shit.
What the hell is going on?
Steven Seagal. Holy fuck. But yeah, it's all day. Just been seeing just the entire internet, which is good. That I'm glad for this one day we'll have to talk about, rioting, looting, and 17-year-olds killing people, and at least everyone's
for once, it's sad that it took
But it's not going to last, unfortunately. I'm just pessimistic. But the best one I've seen today, the best one, which almost brought me to tears, I ain't going to lie, is they showed someone had a picture, and they showed a picture of Stan Lee, and they showed it, and he was hugging Chadwick, and he showed the clouds. He goes, "Hey kid," he goes, I think he said, "Welcome." He's, "I'm going to show you around up here," or some shit.
Angela Bassett almost got me crying because she's I was honored to play his mother, but years ago.
You mean Angela Bassett?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't see any of these. I only saw what you posted. Everybody else, I'm like, hey, did you guys know this happened? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think nobody really knew about it until I brought it up, so.
No, she posted one because he went to the same college she did, and when he went there for a tour of the college, she was the person touring him around.
Yeah.
And years later, when they were on, the set of Black Panther, he didn't bring it up until the how they do the party afterwards after everything's done. He sat down with her and he's like, "Yeah, I was that kid that you showed around the campus and stuff." And she was like, "Oh my god!" And she's like, "We were always meant to be friends, family, whatever."
So, yeah, I'm not sure. I know Alice, there was a bunch of videos. I didn't watch the one with him talking about he knew he was dying or something. I seen so much stuff posted. I didn't see that, but I knew there's some kind of video out there where he talked about a year ago or something. He knew he was sick, and
I feel bad because I posted some fucked up shit before I had it over here.
Oh God!
I posted Mary Poppins doing death metal. What?
Mary Poppins death metal.
You've never seen Metalocalypse? Everything metal, blacker than the blackest black times infinity. They made a black metal song about coffee. Come on, that shit was amazing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, a good Chadwick, man. It's just I feel bad for whoever because times have to change. Got to move on. You figure he played Black Panther in 4 films total.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Man, I feel bad for whoever's got to take his spot because they have to. Obviously, but man, hope. I wish it well to whoever gets that fucking role, man. Because that's
same with Wolverine.
Oh yeah, that's
gonna be horrible.
Hugh Jackman, whoever's got to fill that spot, I feel bad for. It's
I think Patrick Stewart too. I think he was calling it hiatus. I think he said he would come back as Professor Xavier if Hugh Jackman came back as Wolverine. If not, then I don't think.
Which
he's
I get,
back
Hugh
either.
Jackman, I can't believe the guy. I mean, come on, he's when you start pushing 60, man, it's just it hits that point where it's fuck.
I mean, it's different for some of them. If they do come back to play the character, they're still younger, they can still do the role and whatever. How old's Ryan Reynolds now? In his 40s, right?
He's in his 40s, yeah.
Yeah, but he can still whip out a ton of freaking Deadpool shit.
What's saving him is right now all the stunts are stuntmen. So he's only gonna be Deadpool outside the mask.
Exactly.
So
I'm gonna call this, and they better make this. Deadpool kills the universe.
The Marvel universe.
Oh my god!
I
would pay top dollar to see every one of those movies if done right.
That would be worth it because that was a big story arc for Deadpool to begin with. And
Bondage Pool, Panda Pool, Lady Pool, Kid Pool. That show was hilarious.
So I heard earlier this week, listening to Rouse podcast, and mentioned we all know what a legend Robin Williams was.
Yeah.
And when he died, there was a lot of controversy about, did he commit suicide? But then was he sick? Was he depressed? A lot of people thought that he killed himself because it was just depression. And Ralph said because HBO, they actually doing a documentary, and they own all the rights to all of Robin's old stand-up specials. So the documentary is confirming the fact that he actually was diagnosed with dementia.
Yeah.
And on top of dementia, he also was having early set Alzheimer's. And the one doctor, it's just a real quick clip they played saying that Robin, he's like, I'm surprised he can't stand right now. And he goes, and at one point, Robin told, I guess, a friend apparently that, hey, I don't want to die like that. And he was having your body eat, basically your brain disintegrate and stuff in your body. He decided that, you know what, I'm going to go out this way. And,
what was the short blues brother's name? Not,
John Belushi?
Yeah, I believe he was there partying with him when he OD'd from cocaine.
Probably. Yeah.
No, he was there, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I watched the documentary and I teared up because I love Robin Williams.
Yeah.
He was a drug addict too. I'm not saying that to
Like
spit on his
the
grave.
80s,
but
everybody,
he was.
come on. It's like
Yeah, but I believe he
Name
was
one
at that
person
party.
in the 80s who didn't do like hard drugs.
Yeah, but I believe he was at that party when he
shit.
OD'd and he sobered up for a while, but then he got back into it.
That's what killed Chris Farley. Killed
Yeah.
Sam Kinison. I mean, Sam Kinison, technically he only died by the car accident, but like Sam was on the same way. He was on a... It was going to happen eventually.
But
Some of these guys are just...
Look at them. They're comedians. The only praise they really get is when people
Even
are
like,
laughing.
funny, like watching Bill and Ted with Jimi Hendrix, he said that was Jimi Hendrix's curse. Like Jimi Hendrix, he said most times they couldn't confirm it because going by rumors, but like he never played sober. Every time he was on fucking stage, he was either taking mushrooms or heroin or acid. But god damn, the shit that man could do with that guitar. But like, some people, it does make you wonder about the curse. It's like maybe like that's part of like what made them great was they had to like it's fucking
Robert Downey Jr. when he was younger, he was always fucked up on something. He even admitted it.
Drew Barrymore was fucked up from the time she was a child.
Yeah, she was in E.T. I think that. Wait, there was also one about
Firestarter.
Yeah, Firestarter.
Stephen King.
I remember her and that one too.
Yeah, there was like this thing I saw on Facebook. Like the person who wound up saving her was Adam Sandler because he had just dealt with losing Chris Farley. He became so close to her and saw like how much her life was spiraling. He's like, I'm not losing another friend.
Macaulay Culkin, his comeback was fucking legendary.
I seen him recently. He's like, I seen him on Twitter. Hey guys, want to feel old? I just turned 40.
You know what's funny?
Macaulay
So remember
Culkin's
his
40.
little brother?
Jesus.
Remember like in Home Alone, like the cousin who would like wet the bed?
Yeah.
So that's his little brother.
He was just
in
like,
real life.
I believe he was also in Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Probably.
That was my movie.
I fucking
That was
love
so
that.
bad.
You
That was
punched
my
me in the
movie.
boob.
I seen
Yes,
that
he
in
did.
prison. That movie was oh my god. I love
I
Scott
love
Pilgrim.
that.
Funny thing I read today, he did not know that his brother was the star of Home Alone.
Wow.
He didn't realize that Macaulay was the one who was the actual star. And he was in the movie with him.
No, I watched Angry Video Game Nerd and Macaulay Culkin over the past, I think, year or two.
You're
has
subscribed to him too?
been like in a lot of the things, and he's been fucking hilarious. He was also with Joe Rogan once or twice.
I listened
and I watched
to
it.
he was on Joe Rogan's twice. I listened to the first one. Yeah, Macaulay talked for a while. That dude is just like he's had a life, man.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's a comeback. I love a comeback story.
One thing, like, it's pretty morbid, but it was pretty funny at the same time. Remember when they tried to say Macaulay Culkin died?
I watched
Like
him saying, what the thing with Chadwick is like it's happened so the past so many
So
times
much.
you see somebody died.
John
like,
Cena's died every 3 months, apparently. I'm like, shit, dude, what's up? Is he unkillable?
I mean, you can't see him, so what the hell?
I mean, I do see him. I saw him in Cock Blockers. I was like, the premise of that movie was stupid, but him throwing kids against the wall and shit,
The
I'm like...
freaking scene with the freaking, like...
I like the beer enema.
Yes.
see,
Yes. And no, I just watched it recently. He like looks at the girl and he's like, lube it with like lip gloss. And she's like, I don't have lip gloss. And the other dude's like, just spit on it. He's like, don't spit on it. You're not sticking on my ass once you spit on it. And then he like winds up spitting on it anyways.
Cobra Kai, I think, had one of the funniest scenes. I don't know if you either Sue or
I haven't
Al have
seen
seen it.
Tuesday, yeah, Netflix just got it yesterday. I almost fucking lost my shit.
Do either of you plan on watching it?
Eventually.
Tuesday,
Eventually, but I'm not interested in it.
See, I want
Go
to
ahead,
talk
tell me
about
because it won't matter one
There's
way or
a
the other.
scene where an adult goes around beating up kids in a school.
I mean, I eventually want to watch it because they did bring back Ralph.
Well,
last year.
everybody,
They
yeah.
did bring back.
Well,
Wesley
even the bad guy in part one that was making like I listened to the Drinking Them guys. They've just
Yo.
Netflix is making season 3 now because they bought it from YouTube because it was just doing that many views and like I mean I like seeing these guys. What's life been like for the past 25, 30 years for them?
Stingray.
I love how like someone made the statement. They're like, "Oh my God, Barney Stinson was right. He really was the villain of freaking like the Karate Kid."
That series is very... It's on and off. Once you guys see it, you'll understand it, but it's very on and off. I don't know who to root for and who to hate from episode to
that's
episode.
from what I've listened to. They said Daniel's kind of a douchebag.
It's like they reversed roles, in my opinion.
and that's what makes it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
it
the
was
thing.
funny
Like, he kept kicking Daniel's ass so much when they were kids that, like, now, like, he's gone on, he's learned from his past, he's like, whatever. this is without even having to watch the show. Like, you just seen from freaking trailers, and it's like Daniel, like, he's been like pumped up so much where it's like now he's like, fuck you guys, I'm like awesome.
Where's you now?
The weird thing is, let's remember in Karate Kid, the movie, when they were kids, Daniel was still an asshole. Like, he was the hero of the movie, but he was a dick. Like honestly, you remember every scene where he was talking shit about them guys? Like, he was an asshole.
And that's why people are saying, Barney Stinson is right. Like, Daniel really was the villain.
He was a douche. All through the show, it just turns out that he was the guy that couldn't fight and was getting bullied by guys trying to jump him. But
he like wound up getting like trained by like someone who was fucking awesome.
And Cobra Kai, he joined Cobra Kai for a while too, and just acted just like the rest of them. Started beating up people for no reason other than you looked at me funny or you got in my way.
One of the best things I heard was like Johnny's just like us, or like is older than us, obviously, but he still has like that. He's not PC, so he still tell kids like stop being a fag or something.
Yeah, stop being a bunch of pussies.
Some pussies. Like, you can't say that in 2018. He's like, fuck you, I can't. Like,
they were. I hated those fucking kids.
Well, that's why I heard what's good about it is like because Johnny and Daniel they're still the 80s kids and stuff.
I hated 90% of the kids. I was like, someone needs to just properly suplex these
I'll
little
eventually
bastards.
watch it because to this day I still love fucking Ralph Macchio. So
everyone does.
The first time I watched that movie, The Karate Kid, I hated that movie with everything.
Really?
I did. You know why I hated it? Because I was young. That was in the era of all the Chinese kung fu movies. Yeah. And when you hear the name Karate Kid, I thought it was going to be a kick-ass martial arts movie.
Oh, gotcha.
And it really wasn't. It was a good movie, but the martial arts was lacking. And initially, when I watched it as a kid, I watched it for the martial arts. Yeah, and I was like, this is horrible. I don't like this. It took me to watch it again years later and actually watch the story. Yeah. And I was like, oh, no, this is a good movie. Like, it was a good movie. But initially, when I first watched it, I hated it because the martial arts just wasn't there.
There's definitely something that's like, because I said, I've seen 100,000 movies in my lifetime, but I'm not sure where I would even start with that, but there is.
Which is why Chris will not pick his favorite fucking movie because he's like, I can't do it. I love everything.
If you were to pick 1981 to right now, how much like my
how many movies have you watched?
Maybe Ricky.
But the point I was just making is like how many films that like even I would say like you watch it at 15 years old and like this movie fucking sucks. You watch it at 25 like this movie's fantastic and you're like what was I thinking 10 years ago?
No, I love those like 60s and 70s karate flicks. The 5 Venoms, 36 Chambers of Shaolin, the Karate Masters, and all that shit. I was like, the voice acting was shit, and they slowed down the karate because if they went full speed, you wouldn't understand it. And I was like, okay, I understand it, but it was beautiful compared to what? Just gunslingers, don't get me wrong. Clint Eastwood and John Wayne and all that, but those old karate flicks were just demented.
You know what's crazy is that those guys that did the martial arts and the Chinese kung fu movies, like these guys would learn their choreography in like a day, like a single day, and then they would film it and it would be flawless.
Want me to blow your mind? The one of the major karate masters in the old movies was in Kill Bill. The guy who trained I forget her name.
Uma Thurman.
Yeah, the old guy in the mountains with the beard. That was a dude from like the 36 Chambers of Shaolin.
I love that scene. Well, if you watch Quentin even said him making Kill Bill was his homage to the old school Chinese films.
No, that dude was literally one of the old school karate dudes. He was in many of them. Like I was like, holy shit! I fucking know that guy. I love that guy. He better do something awesome.
Rewatching those last year with Christian, you never seen the theaters, but Uma, like, I got to give her all the fucking props. Uma, like, for that sequence with her versus the 100-man army and stuff, then Lucy Liu, Uma
crazy 88.
She trained her ass off for that film. Like, that's all Uma. That's not no stunt double. It's just like Lucy Liu, all them fight scenes, like, she put the work in for that film.
Well, she hasn't worked with him since then because of the fact of how much training she had to wind up doing. And she did wind up, like, injuring herself pretty badly during it, too. And, like, they stopped talking for a while because she was pissed with him. Because of it. But I guess, like, they're on better terms now because when we watched the frickin' Hollywood one there, her daughter's actually in it.
I think I'm the only jackass that don't like my favorite actors, to do their own stunts. I'm like, get a fucking stunt double, you dumbass. Like,
Watch, I was laughing today, listening to the Critical Drinker talk about Commando, and he goes, you watch Commando, he goes, because Arnold back in 85 was so huge, massive, they couldn't find stunt doubles to match Arnold, so it was like, this was Arnold doing his own stunts for you. He goes, nowadays you just have like a CGI stuntman come in, or something come in, then they would just digitize the guy's face over that, but like...
you mean like in...
That's why I still gotta respect Tom Cruise, though, man, because you know that's just something, he's really on that fucking point. Like,
respect freaking Keanu Reeves. You know what I learned about him? But, you know. Like, you know the freaking scene in Speed where, like, he jumps out of the car and onto the bus?
Yeah.
That's Keanu. That's not a stunt
double.
double.
I respect the guys from South Park and Orgasmo. Stunt cock! Stunt cock! Fuck that ass! Woo!
I just seen it last night. I know. It was just... yeah, you see a black guy comes in, he goes, what's up? He's looking, I'm like... It's like,
he slaps his ass in front of camera. Get the fuck out of the way! Sorry.
Orgasmo such. Dad took us to see that. Dad shouldn't took us to see that as kids, but like when we watch it as getting older, like. No, I seen actually an article last night about that. Keanu was mentioning. It just was a side thing I clicked on because right now he's filming Matrix 4, and of course the Wachowski brothers. Yeah, which is it kind of pissed me off because I guess Lawrence Fishburne said he wasn't coming back, which I'm not sure. Why they're bringing back Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss Trinity, but then now they're going to have a young Morpheus, which I'm like,
that makes no sense.
So the fourth installment is going to be like a prequel, or
no one knows.
How the hell can it be a freaking prequel?
Because didn't he die in the third one?
Yes,
he did. It was the
Trinity died too.
It was symbolism for Jesus because if you looked at how he died, it looked like
so right now it's confirmed.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, I understand that Keanu doesn't age.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a difference in seeing Keanu.
I can only imagine that what they did was. I can only imagine they're probably going to go with that. His consciousness is still in the Matrix, I'm guessing.
Actually, if you listen to the very end of the third one, the Oracle said we'll see him again.
Yeah, well, that's the point. So, no, it's Jada Pinkett's coming back because Jada Pinkett was in 2 and 3. So, Jada Pinkett's coming back.
Will Smith in the back.
Yeah. She's going to get into an entanglement with Keanu.
But yeah, so it's Jada Pinkett, it's Keanu, Carrie-Anne Moss.
Old anytime soon, is it?
No, fucking Will Smith. Will Smith crying in the background, watching her. And...
But yeah, so the interview that they asked was
wine cooler me.
Yeah, so the interview that they asked was that so Keanu filmed all 3 films when it was Larry and Bob Wachowski. Now of course they're women, so and one's coming back, one's not. So one of the ones Larry's calling himself Lana now, and that he was trying to say that the first 3 Matrix films were an allegory for trans issues. And even Keanu, they asked Keanu, he's like, did you feel about Keanu was like, I filmed all 3 films. He goes, it was never discussed with me by anybody, the writers, directors, production team, that these 3 films were allegories to trans issues. So it was never brought to my attention, and Keanu wasn't being like big. I just never knew that making 3 Matrix films, this was a trans issue. So
I thought it was a religious one from the very first.
I'm like, okay.
Neo was, if you just arranged the words, it was one.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's what I said. With Matrix 4 being filmed, like, of course, as a Keanu fan, I want to see it, but I'm like, if you turn part 4 into some kind of a big trans, what? Yeah. Like, watch all 3 films. There's nothing. What? Like,
let's be honest here for a moment. It doesn't matter what the fuck the movie's about. We're all gonna go see it.
Oh, I'm not lying. Yeah, I'm gonna.
I don't know. If someone's like, "Yo, there's a huge trans issue in it," fucking, I'm saving my money.
All I'm saying is Keanu needs to stop doing freaking sequels to all of his freaking movies at this point.
No, he doesn't. He's on making sequels.
No, he can make 19 John Wicks. I'm like,
I mean, yeah, cool.
He can make 100 John Wicks. I will watch them all.
Matrix died. Leave it dead. That's how I feel.
But that's the part of
did a trilogy.
But the thing I like about Bill and Ted 3 was like, okay, let's be honest. Out of 2 of them, Alex Winters made some.
I mean, that makes sense to do a trilogy of Bill and Ted, but
the point was for Bill and Ted 3 was that the payday was probably pretty low. He didn't need to do this shit. He did it because it's Keanu. So, with Matrix 4, he probably still felt like, there's more to tell with Neo. He might do some. I mean, right now, nothing's being confirmed what the plot even is. But I know it's going to be a young Morpheus, which I'm like, but. If you have a young Morpheus, but then Jada Pinkett's coming back, but then Keanu and Carrie-Anne Moss come back, like, what the fuck is... the fact that Lawrence Fishburne, and it wouldn't say if, he just said, I'm not coming back, so it's like, I think he turned it down because, like, especially you're not gonna have Morpheus in it. Like, he was the only one. That's
Well, I mean, it kind of ended fine and perfectly to me. It's like, okay, it's over. Who gives a shit anymore?
Like Allison, no, as I'm gonna see it regardless, but like, I just hope it doesn't fucking suck. But like, that's the point. Just reading a side article, it's like, when did the Matrix become a trans thing? Like.
I didn't even hear about that.
That's
And that's what Keanu said. He goes, he just an interview like a couple days ago about he's filmed Matrix 4, and he said, "Did you know about this?" He goes, "No, no one ever told me." I worked with these guys for years. It took them 3 years to film all 3 movies. Like, it was never brought to my attention that this was.
I'm curious as to how like what. In what way does the movie symbolize trans issues?
That's and that's like, and the director, the one that came back, because the one brother's not coming back, one is, and it just said it's there. And like, well, how? Well, it's there, but explain it to me then.
I seriously got a very Jesus vibe, especially in the third one, because he
You're
glowed.
not the only one. A lot of people did.
They said
could
that,
see
though.
everything. He glowed. He died just like Jesus on the cross and was carried away.
Well, they said that because I watched
to be reborn.
I watched the director's commentary about that when they were still men, and they both said that's what it was.
Technically, they're still men. They just think they're women.
Well, whatever. But that was the point, though. With like, but the even the names, the name of Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus are all biblical names. That's what the Matrix was. That's what they. I watched so many interviews with these brothers. Like, this is why we named them Neo, Trinity, Morpheus. They're all Bible names. Like, okay, so now it's a trans thing.
I don't think that was in the Bible.
But it wasn't a trans thing when you were.
I don't think Neo is in the Bible either.
That's what they were saying. I mean, I don't.
Neo, I believe in translation means new or nowadays. Let me just.
Yeah, you can look it up because there was. I said the whole point I was getting from Matrix, the trilogy was that like there's a lot of biblical references. That's what they were doing.
Yeah, that's what I literally got from the Matrix. Was a lot of cyber biblical bullshit, and I was like, okay, well.
But I looked it up, so no. But so then the thing with Robin Williams was just that it's like, hey, the guy he did actually take his own life, but considering he knew he was dying and he had dementia and he also had like early Alzheimer's, to sit there. I mean, how many guys want to go out like that? It's like he felt like, I'm going to go out now.
In a situation like that, like, I could see his point of view.
Yeah. But
a new or revived
I'm saying, but
form
I gotta look up
Neo.
I'll look up later with the whole Matrix references, though.
I would not accept that he killed himself for, like, at least 2 years. People are like, Robin Williams killed himself. I'm like, you fucking take that back. And they're like, whoa. I'm like, no. You don't talk ill about that man. Find out he did, and I was just like, fuck.
Yeah. Upset
me. It's like, no, I put him on a pedestal. Robin Williams, everything he was. I loved, what was it? The one about him being the robot. I know people are like,
Man.
Yeah, I don't. I can't tell you how many times I watched that.
That was a really good movie. Actually,
really was.
I watched that movie like 4 different times. And I'm like,
That is a
it doesn't
movie.
get old. Like
going from a robot to a human and then fighting for his rights, but it wasn't in the in-your-face way. It was in the
See, what was good
Holy
about
shit.
Robin Williams was like, yes, he was a great comedian.
He was also a really good actor. He was very diverse in his
Really, he
ability.
was.
He was, because like I just recently watched a scene from Patch Adams, like the one where he's in the court scene.
Patch Adams is fucking deep.
And
that's
like
a deep movie.
they're like trying to tell him like, you're not licensed to like do this.
And that was a real life man too. Patch Adams was based.
And like he's like explaining to him, he's like, what sets me aside from all of these other like people? All the people I help, they've gotten better.
Yeah.
And so on, and like he just gives like the whole dialogue, and like it was fucking amazing.
So I think Robin Williams, because he was like who he was in the 70s and 80s, I think a lot of modern comedians, they try copying that, only in the sense that like Robin Williams could have just done comedy the rest of his life, and when you actually break it down, when he didn't do comedy, that fucker was a tremendous actor, and so many other actors want to be like that. Oh my, that was great.
He was disturbing in 1 hour photo.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Or like, what was it?
The one with him and Insomnia with him and Al Pacino in Alaska. That was good. It's like he. Yeah,
but I'm thinking like, what was the one where he was the teacher, Dead Poet Society?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like
my captain. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was he in Good Will Hunting?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, I know he was.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. So.
Yeah, no, but it's like especially I think when I was a kid, I know everyone's here seen that. It's Jamie got me into watching What Dreams May Come. That movie will fuck your head up.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Cuba Gooding
upset
Jr.
me.
in that one. Him and Cuba Gooding Jr. were amazing in that film. Like that's. Yeah. So whenever the documentary, HBO is still working out when it comes out, I'll probably watch in segments because it's probably gonna be depressing as hell. But actually, it's like it just like Ralph was saying on his podcast that it's good to see that at least more people will see Robin Williams and listen. This wasn't some coward. This wasn't some guy who just killed himself for fucking depression. He died because he was dying, and it's better to go out with that dignity because, yeah, you don't want to be like this legend that he was. Now you're stuck in a wheelchair, stuck in a colostomy bag. You're talking like a 4-year-old and shit because dementia is it's like there's no curing it. And his doctor said too, it's like it's only a matter of time before you're stuck. You're confined to a wheelchair, probably confined to a bed, and he'll be, he won't be Robin Williams. And you don't want to see someone go out like that. So
I can't even watch Aladdin anymore. With him as Genie, you ain't never had a friend like me. I'm like, don't you fucking say that, man. Don't you say that.
I was thinking of, like, the part where he's, like, explaining to Aladdin, he's like this immense power, and he's like, the itty-bitty little space.
Yeah.
good movie.
I love
phenomenal cosmic power.
Yeah.
I don't care. To his credit, I still like Will Smith tried. He didn't mimic Robin Williams. That's why I give Will Smith credit for that.
Well, like, that's something, like, I still haven't watched it. I'll be honest. I still haven't watched it.
It wasn't bad.
I refuse
But,
to.
It
like,
wasn't bad.
eventually when I do, I do love Will Smith as an actor.
I do. I like him. I like Will. He's a good
Everybody
actor.
loves Will Smith.
Sad Will Smith.
No. Will Smith, like, I have to give Will Smith credit. Like, I've watched, like, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's been years since I watched
Speaking of, I'll get into a second.
It's been years since I watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But they do constantly, like, show, like, certain, like, for being a comedy show, like, you don't realize, like, how many, like, touching moments there are. And, like, there's always, like, that one they always show on Facebook where it's, like, his father's there, his father leaves, and, like, he's pissed off about it. And, like, he's talking to Phil, and he's saying to him, he's like, I didn't need him. I never will need him. The only good thing he ever taught me was, like, how to actually be a father, because I'm going to be a better father than he ever was. And shit. And when he, like, screams out, to hell with him, and, like, he starts crying, he's like, why doesn't he want me?
I beat that. None of you have probably seen this, but 7 pounds.
Yeah.
You know a lot. That
fucking ending
killed me.
Oh my god.
That movie caught a lot of shit. Like the critics were brutal on that movie. Like everybody was like, "This movie was horrible."
No,
I watched it. And I was like, "Yo," and it bombed. It didn't do good in box office either.
I watched,
and I was like, I thought this movie was amazing.
Holy shit! The last 20 minutes is a mind fuck.
No,
like,
the whole movie from start to finish, I was. You could not take my attention away from that. That movie broke me in ways I couldn't be broken. That was a powerful
They give it 25% Rotten Tomatoes. Metacritic.
The critics went totally haywire on it.
It did box office. It did 170 million. It did do good. So it was 2008. But so we gotta watch. No, I seen that again. Seen that in prison again.
No.
But oh yeah, it's
that's him going out of his comfort space.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
Damn.
7 pounds was
that was a powerful movie. That kind of tested how much of a human you are. I'm not even gonna joke. If you don't tear up
like that though, I hate.
No, it has a reason behind it.
Yeah.
It is what is the thing? It took God 7 minutes to create the world, and I destroyed mine in that time.
Yeah.
See, stuff like that I won't watch because it's like Mother. I won't watch because of like everyone's like don't watch it.
It's just stupid.
They're like, there's that point in it where it's like they tear like the baby apart, and it's like Mother Nature.
Oh, I thought you meant. I thought you meant the one about the ghost and the little girls. It was like that was actually kind of decent.
No, that's the others.
No, it's not. There's one about 2 girls who the father tries to kill them in the beginning, and a ghost kills the father and raises these kids and follows them. I think it's called Mama.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, part of the reason I saw that in the first place was because of the fact that Jamie Lannister plays both the father and the uncle.
Yeah.
And when he was doing an interview for it, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna be in the movie Mama." And he's like, "Yeah, I start out." He's like, "I play the role of the father, and then I play his brother, their uncle." They're like, "And what's your character on Game of Thrones?" He's like, "Well, I play the father and the uncle."
Yeah.
And it's like,
watch 7 pounds, Sue. It's not completely like one of those heart-jerking things. It's complex. It's, I would say, damn near spiritual.
Yeah, I don't like shit like that though.
It was on Vanity
Give it a
Fair, but
chance.
yeah, I killed this article.
Like
Will
this,
Smith. Will Smith. And
that doesn't make
Rosario Dawson.
It's got a good cast on
I'm
it.
head over heels in love with her, and everybody gives
Woody
her a hard time.
Harrelson
Really?
is in it too.
Who gives her a hard time? Fuck, man. Listen.
I swear to God, you need to watch some of the things I watch.
That woman's a fucking goddess, man. Like,
Sin City. I was just like, my
Jesus
God, I
Christ.
want to take her to Pound Town.
yeah, see, the fourth film's going to, see.
No,
Actually,
seriously, Sue.
It's going to have Neil Patrick Harris, Jonathan Goff, and it says Lawrence Fishburne played Morpheus, would not be joining the cast. So, they come up with a beautiful story.
Hannibal wrecked him. God, that was such a great series.
I started rewatching Lucifer. I forgot how good that
Oh
show
my
was.
God.
I'm right now in the middle of season 2. I'm like, this was actually a really good show. Like, I don't know why I stopped watching it.
Susan, you need to watch that as well.
I'm leaving.
Don't leave.
Why?
I have to eat.
Oh.
Oh,
I thought you hated Lucifer so much.
Yeah. The devil's your friend. He just wants to know your deepest desires.
The devil is my friend. He's played by Mark Pellegrino.
No.
Natural.
He's played by this guy, I think it's John Ellis.
Yeah. Oh, Tom Ellis.
Yeah, Tom Ellis. I loved his piano parts. I don't know what it was, just listening to him sing all these songs throughout the years, especially at the Watchtower. I was like, fuck.
Well, the only thing that, now it's Lily. Lily gave, says, the narrative was all about the desire for transformation, but it was all coming from a closeted point of view, confirming fan theories. I don't know how present my transness was in the background of my brain as we were writing it. We were always living in a world of imagination. That's why I gravitated towards sci-fi and fantasy and played Dungeons and Dragons. But, okay.
What the fuck does Dungeons and Dragons have to be with trans? I play a drow who just kills people. Like, my character is literally a murder, what people would classify as a murder hobo. I've killed more people than the rest of my party combined.
Murder hobo.
Yeah, literally, we were attacked by thieves, and they wanted to take our organs. I got an intimidation check so high the dude pissed his pants, and then I decapitated him.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Because I got a crit hit, and my character uses his claws as weapons, so it took his head off. And it was amazing. Trust me, you get to use your imaginations on Dungeons and Dragons. It's fucking magical.
I used to play Dungeons and Dragons years ago.
I only got into it about not going on 2 years, and let me tell you, I missed out. Because that shit is amazing.
Yeah, I remember there was this guy. When I was in Job Corps, his name was James Hughes. He's the one that introduced me to it. I fucking miss him. It was like me, like he would set up the game. It was like me and a group of friends, and he was a dungeon master, and we would just play this shit for hours, dude. Like just get lost. And people teased us mercilessly. Like you guys were a bunch of geeks and dweebs, but this fucking game was fun.
Yeah,
like we had a good time.
These are the kinds of games where you don't have a limit. Your character isn't just one-dimensional. We see these movies where we wish we could be like the characters. You could make a character like John Wick if you get the perks and dice roll.
Yeah.
But people just don't. We hit a certain age, and it's like our imagination shut off. It's like I can't, imagine the world being like this because I'm an adult. I have responsibility. And people are like, oh, well, you're not a kid anymore. And it's like, but we're having fun. We're not hurting anybody. What the hell's the big deal? Well, we don't like the thing. Well, then don't fucking play it. Somebody hates everything nowadays. I could say hi, and someone's like, oh, what do you mean by hi? Well, not as in drugs, that's for sure. I meant it as the greeting. And someone's still going to get mad. So it doesn't matter what anyone does or says. You're always going to find that one dipshit who gets angry.
True.
Sue, why did Sue have to leave? She had to go to the bathroom. Why did she have to go to the bathroom? Come on, guys. We all have to piss now and then. Fuck off. Shut up. Like, this is the world, and people need to shut the hell up. And Chris needs to learn how to play Dungeons and Dragons.
It's sad. I have no time. we got 2 more days. Avengers comes out. You're about to call me Chris America because I'm be fucking like sleeping with the Avengers. Like I might be like playing that shit where I'm unconscious.
I'm gonna call you the fake ass Hulk. I'm gonna be horrible Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan.
Hey.
She may be related to Genghis Khan. Who knows? Except she's kind of rubbery and.
What was that shit about me always having to go to the bathroom?
No, I was saying how we were talking about Dungeons and Dragons and that everybody gets mad. I could say hi and someone's gonna get mad because I said hi.
So I heard about today, which is funny as hell because I love reading stories like these. It make me smile so much. But you guys, like everyone here, do you guys know Bella Thorne, right?
Yep.
The actress, Bella Thorne. Well, I listened to her on she was on Howard's show about like 5-6 months ago, and she did this interview with Howard, and like it's like every second she's talking, I'm telling myself that there is them chicks where it's like, I definitely would fuck you, but like after 30 seconds, you have to just stuff a fucking ball gag in her mouth because like this chick is batshit crazy. Holy Christ! But yeah, what was she mostly known for, Sue?
She played the character of Cece on Shake It Up on Disney Channel.
Well, because her controversy was that she had fucked up leaked pics of her topless. Her tits were out and she was taking selfies. And like she
was on there with Zendaya.
And she went through the whole, like, it's everyone's hacking to her phone and everything, so.
Oh, is this the one that's supposed to be,
It was funny, actually. She came as bisexual and she stole her brother's girlfriend.
Yeah, listen, when she was on Howard's show, it's just like, every second she's talking, I'm like, wow, this chick is not that fucking hot. Like, please just shut up. Like. But,
see, now I gotta look this up on my phone while you're talking.
She's definitely attractive, but she's not that attractive. Like, but what's funny is, so this article came out that I love this shit. So Bella Thorne is slammed by adult performers after $2 million OnlyFans payday. And what happened is that Bella Thorne, she surprised a lot of fans and onlookers with her OnlyFans success. In 1 week, she earned $2 million from the site. But apparently, the problem was that. Now, I talk about lawsuits, boycott, and blah, blah. She promised her OnlyFans a bunch of nude photos, and she didn't take a single nude picture. And they're fucking flipping
you
out.
Dirty. Well, I mean, all you gotta do is say, you idiots have fucking Google. Google. It's free.
Before we read this article, it makes you wonder. Like, remember when that shit was coming out, the whole fappening they call it, and like it was everyone from like Bella Thorne to like all these naked chicks, like and people would say, well, it's I like the articles and people would make on social media. It's immoral to look at like say Jennifer Lawrence's tits because that was her private pictures and stuff, and I feel bad.
Fine.
And I'm like, well, okay, I get that. That's their privacy, and someone hacked into their phone, but then. They do shit like this, though. So she's like, I'm promising all my fans nude pictures of my tits and stuff, too. A week goes by, she hasn't shown nothing but her, like, in a bikini, her eating fucking cereal, everything but nude pictures.
Well, technically, Jennifer, that Lawrence chick did a movie where she kind of
she did
butt naked.
She
so
did
I saw
after,
that
though.
and I was like,
but she did it after because she felt like I listened to her on Stern talk about this. She goes, well, the whole internet's already seen me naked. I might as well do a fucking movie and get paid for it.
She was Mystique.
She is funny though when it comes to like a couple of things because she's like one of those freaking actresses where she's like awkward, so therefore she's relatable.
But we'll see. So this says that
there's nothing to be ashamed of. She was Mystique, and I pretty much got the picture from that alone.
So, not only were they upset that she made $2 million from the platform, but that success has also led to OnlyFans limiting the amount users could charge their fans. While many could charge $200 before, selling directly to fans can now only charge $50 max. So now they're pissed off that these women are being capped in how much money they can make in a week or a day. Like, okay, she just made $2 million this week. Oh, that's gotta suck. Like, I mean, damn, Al, she only made $2 million this week.
This is the thing that tickles me is that they're all up in arms like, oh, she made $2 million. You dumbasses, y'all gave her that money.
Thank you.
Like, how the fuck do you think she got the money? And now she doesn't want to put news out? I hope she never does. I hope she never does because there's legally nothing you jackasses can do about it.
But apparently these other... But what's funny is like the other OnlyFans women are now pissed off because they're saying that like, she's ruining it for them.
Just like when a virtual... That's just like when virtual girls joined Chatterbait. I don't even watch that shit. I just watch videos on YouTube like, oh, people are mad because a virtual anime girl is making more money than them. It's like, yeah. The reasoning, because little kids watch this. It's like, well, who's to say they don't watch yours, you fucking
see, the backlash
monsters?
Came out from that. The platform, they changed their platform now. Reportedly lowered the amount of tips that and select posts to $100 and $50. Would also seem to extend payment timelines from 7 days to 30 days.
That's funny.
There is no confirmation that her account and post led to these changes. Many of these accusations were posted to Instagram by angry OnlyFans people, alleging that her followers attempted to get refunds after actress posted photos she claimed were nude and charged $200 for them, and none of them were nude.
But see, this is not something new. This is what's been going on with Twitch and stuff and all that. And if people think, oh, no, you can't. No, there are girls that have flashed their ad. There's a girl. I've seen this because one of these weird people I follow is like the most fucked up shit I've seen on Twitch. A girl who has a camera aimed at her twat the whole time in tight-ass clothes. She has one of her tits, one of her ass, one of her twat. And everyone's like, oh, I'm so subscribed and I'm so in love with you, because she'll dress up like Wonder Woman or Black Widow. And I'm like, you people are such fucking losers. There are erotic fanfic pics out there. Why not? It's fucking free. Just put it in Google.
I've said before, the fact that we have this many, like on my phone, I can pull up like 1,900 free porn sites, and you assholes want to fucking pay a girl like $100 to see her one picture of nudes.
And then
you know what's really killing me? What's really driving me crazy? Why not just go out and meet a girl?
We can't have
like
that.
if you've got the kind of money to blow, like if you've got $200 to buy a fucking pic, take somebody out on a date. Why not?
Damn, Al, you sound logical.
Like, why not go out?
I'm offended.
And meet somebody.
So
they have no game.
To finish this, so there's
Clearly,
OnlyFans is saying that transaction limits are set to help prevent overspending, okay, and allow our users to continue to use the site safely. Anyway, so yeah, just some of these fucking tweets are by some of these like other OnlyFans girls. It's hilarious. Like it's like, you know, Bella Thorne really ruined a good thing for people who actually use OnlyFans to make a living and pay bills. And like, it's like, oh, this one.
So let me get this straight. Bella Thorne charged money for pics, and that ruined you charging money for pics.
Yeah,
that's the argument. Like,
yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Losers.
Get the hell out of here. I wish these people.
You know,
the hell
there
out of
is a word for that, and it's called a simp.
Let's see.
It's called get a job.
Here's somebody. Look at this.
This
This is a tweet from the sexiest gamer, like asshole. So because of Bella Thorne, I will not have any money this month to pay for rent, food, and meds, which means I have to move back into my old abusive house.
You know what would cure that problem? If she went out and got a fucking job.
Oh, let's see. One of my subs saw my tweets where I was moaning about Bella Thorne and said how sorry they were. Ended up tipping me $100 in total and bought some content. God. This is where the energy I want to see. Tip your favorite sex workers, okay? And it becomes.
So she's a prostitute.
But Bella Thorne.
But here's the thing: she's not though, because she's not doing anything. These guys are giving them money for nothing.
No, she calls herself a sex worker. Then she's prostitute.
She could be sitting there online taking videos of herself masturbating.
Even if that's the case, they're getting nothing from it. Like they're sitting around watching.
Getting something from it.
Like Sue, there would seriously be dudes who pay money to watch you eat food. It is seriously a thing. There's a whole anime about people eating food and their fucking clothes explode off their... It's called Food Wars, and people... I swear to God, it's like these characters have an orgasm eating food. I'm like, wait a second.
Oh, the flavor!
Yeah! Oh, the way
Stop making videos of Al!
Because they don't want to see Al eat food. But if they see
if
you
get some very lonely
eating a cookie, they
or
will
some
fucking
very lonely,
go
like,
crazy.
Gay or bisexual man.
No.
Like, and Al is their type of person.
Even gay men love
Listen,
boobs.
I'm not opposed to the idea if I could make money. I mean, if hot chicks can get paid on OnlyFans.
Yeah, but even gay men like boobs, so win-win-win. All you do is eat some cookies. Hey.
Start making your own.
We'll see this. Everybody let me know in the chat if you want to see Al or Sue eating cookies, you foodie weirdos. No, I'm just joking. It's cool.
What Al was saying, I just make it funny with all these fucking pieces.
Oh, chocolate chip!
Vote for Al, just like you voted for Pedro.
I didn't vote for Pedro, so
everyone voted for Pedro.
I did.
I'd love this damn article. Like I'll say, all these freaking all these other girls out there, like, you know, Bella Thorne's ruined it for the rest of us. Like how?
Nope, she played the game and won, and you're just mad.
And they're just mad because she fucking conquered the game. Like she won.
Exactly.
She completely dominated.
Because there's a bunch of horny people who have nothing better to do than stare at their computers, so why not take their paycheck?
Here's the thing, though, too. Like, Bella Thorne has the body of, like, a 12-year-old. So
I think she's cute, but she's not. I'm not paying $200 to see her naked.
She looks like I would break her by hugging her.
Yeah, she has the body of a 12-year-old.
I mean, a 12-year-old, that's kind of disturbing to think about because I just looked up the pictures.
No, she's definitely got.
I don't know. Need a bag over her face.
I'm angry at the fact that people want to complain about it. Like,
yeah.
She's making it hard for me to get a job.
That's my only complaint. Like, what idiot's going to spend $200 per video?
A lot of them.
Apparently, there are a bunch of people. $2 billion worth.
You don't understand.
Are so stupid, yo.
You'll see people in even YouTube comments like, when you're making an OnlyFans, hey, do you have an OnlyFans?
Oh, yeah.
When can we see more pictures? I'm like, damn, dude. You can just go to Google, put in like blonde hair, big boobs, and damn, you got millions of pictures.
I'm saying, like Al said, when I read this thing, first thing I started laughing, it's like, you know what then? I'm with Al. Like, I want to get my refund and stuff. No, you're not getting a refund. Well, this isn't fair. No, what isn't fair is that the fact that she made $2 million off fucking morons like you. That's what isn't fair.
I hope she never puts any nudes up. I hope she takes your money. I hope she comes back and does it again. I hope she comes out a second time and promises the same thing, and you fucking idiots pay her a shitload of money.
They will.
And she does the same fucking thing again.
But they will.
Never puts any nudes
and then they're going to when she doesn't do it again. And someone's
Bella Thorne, you are now everyone's hero.
No, not really.
Well, she's mine.
I'm still going with Maria Brink. You got 3 over there. Yeah, I put 3 on the washer. Or dryer.
Well, like I said, I mean, the comment on the Facebook thing, I'm like, how is she any different than anybody on YouTube, anybody on fucking Twitch, anybody on TikTok? It's like you're mad. It's like you said, you're pissed off at her, but you'll donate $100 to some bitch on Twitch. Like, it's the exact same fucking thing. So
they're mad because she played the game and she won.
Boy, did she! $2 million worth of winning.
It's like Al said, like there's so many girls out there with $200 fucking dollars. You could you could spend with that, like in terms of like take a fucking chicken Red Lobster.
If you can take it.
7 billion people on the planet. It's not hard to go out and meet a girl. Like, it's not. Regardless of what you tell yourself or what you think or how difficult it is, I'm afraid of rejection, whatever. $200, you could have went out and had a good ass time on the town and socialized with some people and made some friends and done some actual shit with your life and your time, as opposed to pay this chick $200 to beat off the panty pictures.
Yeah,
like you're a fucking loser. Like, what are you doing?
Not just that, but you can just go on Twitch, join a room because you like something, and message, and people will message you back like, you like this stuff too?
Even if she did send you a picture of her naked, right? Again, I can fucking hop in Pornhub. I can name you.
Yeah, seriously.
50 fucking porn stars that look way better than she does, and for free.
I could right off the top of my head rattle off at least 3 or 4 porn websites that are absolutely 100% free.
Yeah.
Like,
I just went to Google, put in her name, put NSFW, and saw the pics for free, and it took 10 seconds.
Yep.
I saved $200.
So, like last podcast,
I'm the king.
We had you, me, and Al here before the one we recorded with Susan. And Junior's like, so reading about Walmart putting more people out of fucking work. Unemployment apparently is not getting extended. More people are out of fucking work. And it's like, so our economy is still tanking. Yet Bella Thorne has made $2 million this week. Yet our economy is fucking tanking. So I feel zero goddamn sympathy for you.
I find it funny.
I just had to fill out paperwork. Good news, I'm going back to work as of Monday.
Nice.
For a Monday through Friday freaking work schedule, because we're just doing evaluations of our employees until our store actually reopens.
What location, by the way?
Say that again?
What location?
Fuck off. So anyhow,
come for you, Longhorn.
Do you want to record a podcast?
I hate this. But in my paperwork, it makes a statement flat out to us. They're like, hey, so if we have to reclose because of the fact that your store is not going to reopen and we have no work for you in any of the other stores, guess what? You're going back on unemployment.
Damn.
So I may be working for like a week, 2 weeks, a month, and then end up back on unemployment.
That kind of sucks.
Unemployment's a fishy thing, though, so I'd be careful with that.
Well, remember hearing that fuck about this? I think it was like 6 months or a year ago that they're going to do the Fresh Prince reboot when they want to have Will Smith produce it and have the Fresh Princess of Bel-Air. I heard about that shit a while ago. Well, so now it morphed out again, which is I'm laughing about it because how fucking stupid it sounds. But so apparently they want to have this new reboot called Bel-Air. It's gonna be Bel-Air. It's gonna be almost like how Susan watches that shitty show Riverdale, which I won't watch. But
Riverdale's actually pretty good.
God damn it, Al.
It's actually pretty good. Like if you watch it, I guarantee you.
I've heard things. But yeah, so Bel-Air. So apparently Bel-Air is gonna be the reboot of Fresh Prince, but instead of being the Fresh Prince, it's gonna be Bel-Air. Instead of being a comedy, it's gonna be a very serious take on this young poor black boy, the black man that was from the hard streets of Philadelphia.
That's basically like a reboot of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, whereas Riverdale is just based off of the Archie comics.
No. Yeah. But Riverdale is a serious version of Archie comics.
It's dark and it's good. It's actually good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's dark, but it's good.
Well, so that's going to be the premise.
It's one of my top 7 shows.
Well, that's going to be the premise of Bel-Air. Bel-Air is going to take out all the comedy, all the music, all the rapping, and everything to just like when Will Smith was, when Will's character was like shooting heroin and stuff, and he was sucking dick on his side.
So basically, like they're taking out everything good.
As of right now, he has no affiliation. He was going to produce the Fresh Princess of Bel-Air. That got canned. Now it's going to be Bel-Air. It's going to be called Bel-Air, like not the Fresh Prince, not the Prince. It's Bel-Air.
But and it's this like is it saying flat out like this is like reboot or like a spin-off of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
No, it's just a reboot just called Bel-Air. So
sounds almost as bad as the reboot of Saved by the Bell with the dude who plays a chick.
Even Rolling Stone said, "Who needs a dark, gritty Fresh Prince reboot? Reimagining the show as a realistic prestige drama misses the real-life strengths and complexity of the original sitcom. So now it's going to be a pure, gritty, hard, realistic drama version of like the Fresh Prince."
Well, there's why Will Smith isn't a part of it in the first place, because Will Smith, what made the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air so good in the first place was the comedy. When they would get into like the freaking like serious topics and stuff, like they did it well.
But it was a sitcom though. It's a point that like here, okay, it says Bel-Air is a dramatic take that will dive deeper into the inherent conflicts, emotions, and bias and what it means to be a black man in America today.
They covered like freaking stereotypes.
Oh, they did. They definitely
Cosby
did.
And Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Like, there was that whole thing with him and freaking Carlton going to college and the one fraternity.
And they didn't want to let him in because
they didn't want to take Carlton because
they said he was acting too white.
You don't act black enough and shit. And Carlton's like, oh, so what makes me black is like if I'm like listening to rap music, dressing like this, doing that. And it's like,
Don't change Carlton. He was perfect as that geek he was.
It's like this. Fresh Prince thrived during a boom time for black television. In the 90s, your average black sitcom, Martin, Different World, Jamie Foxx Show, was concerned with the blue collar
Family Matters
anxieties of the mundane reality of a middle-class existence. Like what he said too, it's like they had different elements of the racist aspect, but the main focus of all these shows was blue collar and middle class people back in the 90s. The racial stuff was there a little bit, but it wasn't constantly crammed down your fucking throat.
Exactly.
That's in so. Yeah. So of course it said now they're just gonna Bel-Air.
No thank you. I'll skip it.
Oh yeah, and just like I said, I'm trying to see. There's nothing right now. Nothing Will Smith at all.
I liked Fuller House, but the reason I liked Fuller House was because
it was a continuation.
Yeah. I watched Girl Meets World. What was it? A continuation.
I didn't watch either, honestly.
I watched them both because I love the original ABC shows.
What was your opinion?
I'm going to be honest. I liked them. I liked them both. I'm not even going to lie to you.
I love the fact of it, like, it told,
it just went on. It moved on.
This is what's going on with DJ, Stephanie, and Kimmy now. They have kids. This is their life. Guess what? They're back in the house.
And I'm not going to lie. Stephanie grew up to be a lot
Gorgeous.
better looking than she was as a kid. She was an ugly kid.
Hey, she was adorable.
No, you know
She
what
was
I
an ugly
love?
kid. She grew up to be a good looking woman, though.
The Golden Years. If they redid that, I would watch
the
the
Wonder
shit.
Years?
Yeah, the Wonder Years. I don't know why I said that.
You know they got that show on Hulu. I just started watching it recently.
Yeah.
I'm up to like episode 3. It's like when it was on TV, when the Wonder Years was on TV, I watched it, but I came nowhere close to watching all of it.
Funny thing, you know, the guy who plays the like main character in the Wonder Years
Is the younger brother of
older brother of Corey Matthews.
Okay.
I like the
Fred
theory
Savage
that
and Ben
his
Savage.
friend was Marilyn Manson.
You know, for years I actually believe that. I believe that. I believe that, and then recently I googled it, and they're like, "No, you idiot!
I know.
You're fucking stupid."
I
What, are you
love that.
retarded?
People would argue with me like that was Marilyn Manson. I was like, no, it wasn't even. He was like, no, I wasn't in the Wonder Years.
But he was in Sons of Anarchy.
You know, it was a show I watched.
Never
I don't know if a lot
watched.
of people knew about this show.
Suck.
There was a show
Hopefully.
called Who's the Boss? Tony
Yes.
Danza and
Tony
what's,
Danza.
Alyssa Milano was in it.
Yeah,
There's a
he
kid in there
played
that played Jonathan, and nobody knows what happened to this kid. Like, after that show ended, this motherfucker vanished.
He went on to have a normal life and came out as being gay.
Oh, shit. I'd have to look. Like, I looked him up several times. I was like, I don't know what happened to that kid.
But that was the era of just walking away without repercussion.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
No,
you
it's because the
can't.
freaking people with the fucking
You
fireworks
can't
are
just
driving them nuts.
walk away from movies and
can't
stuff
stand it.
because it's so easy to find you. Back then, it was like, what happened to this person? No, they just went and had a normal life. Well, nowadays, you know, everybody's on social media. We can follow them easily.
True. And back then, it was acceptable to walk away from movies and have a normal
Yeah.
life. It was acceptable. Now, if you do
Yeah.
that, they look at you as a failure. If you
Yeah.
walk away from showbiz now and just say, I just want to work a normal job and live a normal life, people look at you like you failed. Like you have failed at life.
But, like,
and that's weird.
But look at all the nightmare stories a lot of people tell you that they have no free time to spend with their kids or stuff. Like, yeah, I can understand why people would want to, after 5 or 10 years, just walk away from Hollywood. If you can't spend the time with your family and stuff, who the...
Well, like, that's what the guy from Walking Dead, the one who played Rick, Andrew Lincoln, that's what he's doing.
Yeah. I don't
'Cause he's
blame
like-
him.
Because he's like, I played Rick for, like, what was it, 9 years?
The scary thing about Hollywood is like every actor that you talk to at some point in their career will tell you how toxic it is. But it's a fear of walking away and not being accepted back. That's the thing that keeps them in line.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if you walk away from this career and think that you could come back in the future, you need to have a really prominent career in order to leave and come back. If you don't, you leave and then Hollywood just shuns you, basically. Turns
Well,
their
I mean,
back.
he couldn't say Carl, so...
Coral.
Coral!
Oh, I'm
I love all the memes of that where he looks like he's crying at the prison. Why did he throw the clock out the window, Coral? Because he wanted to see Tom fly, Coral. He wanted to see Tom fly.
Yeah, it's right here. It's right here in this article where they mentioned, like, you know, many of the most remembered and critically adored moments from the original Fresh Prince was Will and Carlton getting racially profiled by the police. Carlton overdosing on amphetamines, Will getting shot, and were also the most intense. Will's tearful monologue about his in-show father abandoning him, which Papa's got a brand new excuse, was so effective that fans believe Smith's real dad was a deadbeat. So, part of what made Will defiantly sobbing on Uncle Phil's shoulders so visceral was the way that scene played out against the context of those two characters. The comedy that defined the Fresh Prince made its moments of drama more real, and those moments of drama made the jokes around them funnier. So, like you're saying, like, and now it's like we have, like, now the whole, like, the woke era, they call it, with, like, you know, freaking Watchmen and stuff, Blackish, and they're saying, like, just a big article, but it's like, yeah, and it's like, learning about his troubled backstory and a catchy theme song isn't enough in 2020. Now we must slog through the realization that Dark Will was hiding a gun and got arrested by the cops, not just spun around one too many times by neighborhood bullies. Last year, Will Smith was saying on his YouTube channel that, as funny as the episodes are, there was a whole another layer that you couldn't do. In a 1 hour drama, you can do 8 episode arcs. So, the dramatic version of these ideas means that you can use existing storylines, but it's not going to seem like you're redoing an episode, because the storyline is going to be brand new from a dramatic perspective. So,
But it was dramatic and dark. He couldn't go back and live in his house because of all the stuff that happened, those people. That was pretty damn
lots of the
dark.
article is saying that it's like, from Rolling Stone, it's like, you know, it's like Will is undercutting the value of his old show. It's like, the complexity and tension of the episode. It's like, he's like, he proved that a rapper could not only transition to the rigors of a half-hour comedy, but also work his way towards becoming one of the most successful actors of his generation. But all Fresh Prince is on HBO Max right now.
But I didn't take that with a grain of salt, thinking there was going to be a happy ending every episode, because they tackle some serious shit that people can't even tackle properly nowadays.
Yeah, it's 2020 though, so yeah, it's just wait for Bel Air.
Why don't they just watch the old show and come back if they're like, well, it didn't properly explain why. Like, yeah, it explained why, but you actually had to pay attention. I know it's hard when you stare at your cell phone every 3 seconds, but come on. You got to put the time in and invest. See, we grew up in an era where we didn't have cell phones, so when we had a TV show we watched these TV shows. We weren't constantly answering a text message and all that. We watched the shows. We saw what was happening. We heard what was happening. So it had a different meaning to us than it does people nowadays. You have a 10-year-old kid. It's like, oh, wow, he's getting pulled over. Oh, well, let me Google something. And they miss half the episode. So I don't want to hear from people nowadays. I lived and watched those shows, and they were pretty damn good. I think they just mess it up nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they should chill with the remakes.
The Pool Shark episode was pretty bad, too. When Will thought he could just trick and steal from everybody, but he couldn't, and then Uncle Phil came in and he's like, just put that guy through the ringer, and he's like, oh, you think you invented this game? No, I was around before you were even born. I'm like, damn, Uncle Phil. I'm like, you the man. What else have you done?
I see an article from Anonymous, which this proves that every agency, you can't blame all cops or firemen or anybody for bad shit, but there's bad things in every fucking part of our world. So there was 16 Marines, they got arrested for smuggling drugs and people across the border.
Good. Throw the book at them.
Of course it did, but
and throw a wine bottle too, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah. Over a dozen Marines, United States Marine Corps troops were arrested at Camp Pendleton in Southern Carolina on a list of charges ranging from human trafficking to drug smuggling, officials reported.
You fucking sick bastards. Rotten hell.
So, it says corrupt Marines, and it's like, yeah, it's trying to read through it. First Marine Division is committed to justice and rule of law.
Tom Ellis will be seeing you guys shortly.
History of smuggling.
You know how depressing it is when you learn that Marines are fucking, they would rather sell out their oath to make a quick buck.
It's like right here it says a history of smuggling. It may surprise you, but this type of activity is commonplace in the military. Countless cases of soldiers using their position to cover for their crimes have been made headlines in recent years. This January, 2 Army Green Berets pled guilty in a plot to smuggle 90 pounds of coke from Colombia. However, it was later suggested that these 2 soldiers were not acting on their own, but they're part of an extensive criminal network and under military protection.
But it doesn't matter. They willingly chose to do it. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if they were working alone. Guess what? Get the information anyway out of them, and then just still throw their asses in a room and just leave them there.
There's dark shit out there.
Fuck it. That's why I tell people the truth is far worse than fiction.
Believe it. That is a fact.
Kellogg's was not invented for a healthy fucking breakfast. It was to stop kids from masturbating and stuff like that. And the dude, this is truth. He made it to stop kids from to have sexual thoughts. I believe, I can't 100% guarantee it, but I found something that Kellogg's even wanted to use a form of acid on women's clitorises to stop them from ever having sexual arousals. This is shit that actually happens. The truth is far scarier than anything your mind can make up.
You know, as you say that, you remind me of a terrifying thing a couple years ago. There was like this major thing going on somewhere in Africa. I can't remember what country in Africa it was happening, where common practice was female circumcision, where they would remove the clitoris.
Yep.
But what the problem was, it affected the way a woman would act sexually for the rest of her life. because it was like a lot of women said it was like a pain that never ever went away.
Yeah.
It just changed everything. A lot of them never wanted to have sex, but their husbands would force it on them. Yeah, it was wild. Like, and it was a practice that was part of their like cultural upbringing, where they would pass that on to like. I was like, wow.
Want to hear something even darker? Like, people are gonna hate me for this, but this is a truth. There was men who would have sex with very young kids because they thought it would cure having AIDS. Yeah. They would fuck babies to try to cure having AIDS. This was a thought process that happened around the world. Like, this is the truth is far more fucked up than fiction. Like, you can make a book about the most disturbing shit. The truth will literally laugh like, hold my beer. Here's the truth.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I'll tell you right now that when it comes to the depravities of the human mind, the things that we could come up with, the depraved shit that we can do, nothing will surprise me. Nothing. Like, because there's stories I've read, shit that made me want to fucking throw up.
Yeah.
But it happens.
Yeah,
this really does.
We do brutal shit to each other. That's just
this is written on Forbes.com. It's a long article, but like it's highlighted. But Dr. John Harvey Kellogg, the inventor of cornflakes, did not care about profits. For him, cereal was not just a healthy food because it would improve Americans' digestion. He believed a diet centered on bland foods like cereal would lead Americans away from sin. One very specific sin: masturbation. It says
okay, as someone who grew up eating Fruit Loops, I can say for a fact that's not bland.
Well, this was the invention of cornflakes. Though.
Yeah, like when it first started out.
This is before Kellogg's made a bunch of different flavored cereals.
Those cock ring Fruit Loops.
He said this: Americans wanted meat, and potatoes, and cake and pie. This was true of breakfast as it was of dinner. Among the wealthy, steak and pie could be dinner or breakfast. So, yep.
I had way too many drinks. Yeah, but the truth is much scarier than a lot of the stuff these people come up with as conspiracy theories. Like, it will fuck your mind completely over.
There are a lot of scary stories out there. I don't know how true they are because they were just based in like conspiracies, but there are a lot of stories out there of stuff that they did. There was a whole space of time between like the 70s and the 80s where they engineered specific foods to cut down on people's ability to reproduce. Right, and I was like, that in itself is just terrifying. But I was like, I never followed up too hard to see what the reality of that was. But
I'd be afraid to, honestly.
I'm telling you, you know how terrified it would be if I found out that there was a whole span of time where they were like, chicken and beef were just made to destroy your ability to procreate. Because I've been gorging on chicken and beef my entire existence.
Yeah, I love that myth about Mountain Dew lowered your sperm count. But I was like, you know what? I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked if the chemicals in certain things that they find out people like is to make them sterile. I would not be shocked. It
makes me laugh so hard about that, considering my middle brother, he's a huge Mountain Dew freaking head. Like, he drinks that all day, every day.
Damn.
He has 3 fucking kids.
Do they look like the mailman's?
No. His son is his spitting freaking image.
Could still be the mailman.
It's like when AIDS came out, and like a lot of people said they purposely engineered AIDS to kill off gay people. I mean,
I wouldn't be shocked.
It wouldn't shock me if there's a lot of religious kooks out there that
the reason that everybody believes so hard, even without the proof that AIDS is engineered, is because of the way it attacked your body. Because it wasn't a direct attack; it destroyed your body's ability to fight off any ailments. Yeah. And then the common
destroys your immune system.
Yeah, the common cold could then wipe you out.
Yeah.
Well, on top of it too, and this is I'm gonna not defend it, but put it as fact, they would say, people would blame gay people for the spread of AIDS, and it's not that so much that it's their fault, is that as a gay man before AIDS came out, obviously if you're a man having sex with a woman, you wear condoms to not get her pregnant. Gay guys don't have that issue. So gay guys are having unprotected sex before AIDS came out, so that was helping spread the disease because they didn't know about this shit. So it's like
what was making it also doubly dangerous is that at the time where it was deadly to be gay, a lot of gay men were pretending they were straight, so they were having sex with men and women. Some of them were legitimate bi, but some of them were gay, but would still get married and have kids. And it was wild.
Well, let's be fair. The butt is a very dangerous place. I'll just throw it out there. It's fucking disgusting.
Listen, it's the reason I always tell people that gayness is not a choice is because I could never choose to put my penis in a man's butt. Like, it just... I want to throw up just for that sentence. Just the sentence, just saying it out loud makes me want to fucking puke. Like, you know, so it's like, it's not a choice. It's not, they don't choose it.
That reminds me of Hot Tub Time Machine too. When they were on that game show and the one dude nearly started crying.
I have to watch it. It's been a while. No, I'm because like even if you try to say like some guys, the more time you spend in prison and stuff too, eventually like a hole's a hole, and I'm like, maybe I wasn't in prison that long. I can fucking swear in the life of my kid.
I'm telling you right now, I don't care what anybody says.
I did 3 years in fucking prison. I wasn't sucking no dick. Trust me.
I don't care how long you've been in prison. If you wake up one day and it's like, I'm gonna start fucking men, you always had that tendency.
Yeah,
like, that's not something you just arbitrarily choose one day. Like,
very well.
I mean, I didn't care if
guys. I know for a fact dudes would rather get beaten unconscious. Like, I would rather be beaten unconscious.
Wasn't a single time I was just in that dorm looking around like, God damn, look at this sexy motherfucker.
Like, my God, look at him
Bubba over there looking all delicious.
Look at him all bent over lifting weights like that. I just gotta go over there and introduce myself.
Oh yeah.
Like, sorry, sir, that long hair doesn't help.
What I heard from someone Chris actually did spend time with in there.
Damn you, Matt.
Chris was his bitch, pretty much.
Yeah, Matt can kiss my ass too. Once I get you down here. That's next vacation, because this one was busy business.
Elbow drops and all that.
But let's see.
Just don't hurt his face.
So this says the website warhistoryonline.com reports that during World War II, again, more shit in history, because it's amazing how, like, you know, in every war, especially from our history, like, you know, we always say that history was written by the winners. Yeah. And so this says during World War II, I never heard this until reading this article. The United States troops raped tens of thousands of women in Germany. While exact numbers are impossible to obtain, the book Taken by Force says 11,000 women were raped between 1945 and 1946.
That's not even history being written by the winner. That shit was recorded in Germany by the Germans. Like, I'll say this, in every war, like, right now, the Japanese and the Korean people kind of have a hate for each other that goes back to Japanese imperialistic times, where the Japanese troops would go to Korea when they occupied it, and they would just rape women all willy-nilly, like, oh, bring me that woman and her kids, I'm gonna fuck them. They would do shit like that, and the Koreans never forgot it, and the Japanese act like it never happened. Like, they just rewrote that shit, like, nah, we didn't do that. And the Koreans was like, you motherfuckers did this. And
like, that's the one thing that North and South Korea can be, like, mutual and immutable.
Genghis Khan.
Like, you did this shit to us. The Koreans never forget, and the Japanese don't remember. Like,
yeah.
And that is a constant strain of conflict between them. But that's the same with every time there's, like, a major war. The soldiers do atrocious shit. It's just that as time goes by, when they become ashamed of the shit they did, they just omit it from the records. They just don't record it.
You learn that watching freaking Game of Thrones. Like, you're rooting for the freaking
Not
Starks.
everything is Game of Thrones. So
no, it can't be related.
No,
like, Alice took his shit. When Game of Thrones, one guy took his shit.
Jack,
like,
what's that movie?
There was Black Lives Matter in Game of Thrones. Like, since when? Like,
no, there's not.
And he was in Game of Thrones.
What about that movie with Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise? Where he's like, you can't handle the truth.
Few Good Men. That was
that's exactly. He's like, you go to bed under this blanket of safety, but we're the ones. I was like, you know what? I've heard some stuff from people who went over there, and I don't want to know anymore.
No, I said
some of the sick shit that happened over there. People shooting basketballs while kids are dribbling it and stuff just to be sick fucks.
I've said on this podcast when I was in Wellstone County Jail, I talked to this guy, and he got out. After like a month we were talking, but like he did a couple years in Afghanistan. He goes, Chris, the things I can tell you, man. And I've said it before over here. It's just like you go into a fucking Afghanistan, you got your unit, and there's like 20 guys, 15 guys, whatever, and you know, your boys there in your platoon. They beat the fuck out of some, you know, young girls and their kids, and they start ripping the shit out of them. Like, yo, CO, what's up? And the CO, he's watching them. Like, your sergeant's watching. Like,
rubbing shit,
guys.
Probably.
It was crazy. there's two military vets that I know that I'm not going to mention their names because, but they told me stories of when during like the Gulf War, where they were given orders to go set oil fields on fire, and then they blamed it on the Iraqis. They blamed it on other people, and it was crazy. I was like, he was like, yeah, but that's some shit that you can't just go around talking about and saying out loud. Yeah, you get in trouble for it. Here I am blaming it on a podcast. But it was like, he told me straight up. He was like, they sent us out. They gave us orders to go out and set oil fields and oil wells and shit on fire, and blamed it on other people so they could fucking instigate fights and shit. And I was like, that is fucking insane. But it's the type of shit that we do. Like, it's just I can't even say we have like the worst, even though that is some shiesty, shady shit to do.
Yeah, this is saying, another case is fucking dog, I swear. 2005, a captain and master sergeant in the Air National Guard were arrested for importing 300,000 ecstasy pills to New York on a military cargo plane. They both got caught and did 20 years in prison.
Well, think of like when we were watching The Punisher.
Yep.
Yo, think of the movie American Gangster with Denzel Washington, all based on true stories, where they used the American military to import drugs into their country.
I can believe it.
Good movie. So I seen this from Anonymous popped up. I guess this happened back in the 80s, but it just popped up recently because I just seen it, and I thought it was a recent event with the guy shooting a pedophile, but it was back 80s. But I guess the book came out. That's why, because the guy died. But I was reading this to Mom, where it's like, apparently, and this is even I would have been too young to hear about this, but this is back in 1984. But a man named Gary Plosh, he killed the pedophile who kidnapped and raped his son. And says, considering the circumstances, the judge and jury showed leniency with him, and he was given.
That's the same one I was talking about that's the one where he was standing in the airport. The guy walked past him. He shot him with the 38.
Yep, that's it.
That video, you can still find that video.
Actually, it's right
YouTube.
Here. They're talking about it. So.
And I'm like, I told everybody, I was like, I was a kid then, but I didn't see that until I was in my late teen years. I was almost in my 20s, like I was like 19, 20ish, and I remember seeing that shit and thinking to myself, like, if I was on the jury. Yeah. There is no way that guy goes to jail. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, they gave him, he was given a 7-year suspended sentence with 5 years probation and 300 hours of community service.
I would have sent him home with a milkshake and be like, go take care of your kid.
He ended up serving no time.
I gave him a fucking medal.
He ended up serving no time in jail. And of course, says the case was extremely controversial at the time, with many people arguing whether or not it was justifiable. Of course.
It was. No, I saw an episode of Cops where this dude beat the ever-living shit out of one of his neighbors and his neighbor's friend because they raped his daughter. These dudes, their faces were almost unrecognizable, and the cops were like, you could be arrested. He's like, you're going to arrest me? These dudes fucking raped a 12-year-old girl. He's like, no. He's like, just take off these handcuffs. I'll kill them. I'll do your job for you. I'm like, take off his handcuffs. Do it.
Let him finish the job.
Yeah, let him. Fuck those people.
Yeah. Like, that shit is terrifying, especially from the perspective of a parent. If you're a parent and you think about it happening to your own kid, it becomes that much more insane to you.
Let them fight.
I still remember that story, that guy waking up in the morning and hearing his daughter talking to somebody and thinking that she was just talking to her toys or whatever. He goes to check on her and sees a motherfucker going out the front door with his fucking 4-year-old. That shit was insane.
Did he kill him?
He chased after him, but the guy couldn't make a getaway with the kid, so he put the kid down. He tried to run. The guy was chasing after him, screaming. So neighbors started getting up. They ended up calling the cops. The guy ran a couple of blocks. He ran maybe 4 or 5 blocks, but still got picked up. He didn't get away. But I was like, that's somebody that should have got caught, and he should have got beaten.
Execution.
Of his life.
No, behind a dumpster, just execution style, and throw his body in there.
You know how insane it is that you actually went into somebody's house and took their kid from their house? Like, nah.
No,
you definitely need to be fucking put out.
Have you seen the video of that grown-ass dude walking into the store, grabbing a girl by her hair and trying to just drag her out of the store?
And her mother was holding her?
Yeah.
And he was still trying to... I see that
this dude's just like, not even a care in the world.
Yeah,
like, it's not, but he's just dragging this girl, trying to pull her out of the store like it was nothing.
And her mother was holding onto her, screaming, and he was still trying to take her. That's...
Execute that motherfucker, because that's the kind of dude, he gets out, he's just going to do it again. No emotion. He's just like, he looked like he was inconvenienced that people were stopping him.
What pissed me off about that is nobody did anything. Like, nobody, like people watched. Somebody should have fucking knocked him out immediately.
2x4 right to the side of his face.
Yeah. No, so I was reading about just the detail of that. Like you said, you can look it up on YouTube, all the details about it. And I guess August 2019, the Sun released a book and just like the Jody Plusha story. But the guy who shot him, the father, he suffered a stroke in 2011. He passed away in 2014. Had a nursing home after another stroke, and at the age of 68. But
man's a hero.
I mean, said they initially charged, and this is why I keep saying too, when anything happens nowadays, he was initially charged, and said what you're charged with and what you actually get is different. But said he was charged with second-degree murder, and of course, then he pleaded contest of manslaughter. But everything it was just probation he got, and yeah.
I remember that interview with him when they was talking about when his son asked him why he didn't come to get him. As a parent, that shit, he couldn't even get over that.
Yeah.
It was like, because when your 11-year-old says to you, "Why didn't you come get me, Dad?" Because whenever kids are in trouble, that's what they expect, mommy and daddy to come save them.
Yep.
And when you have to look at not understanding that his parents were scouring the earth looking for him, that thought didn't enter his head because he's a kid, he's a child, he's scared, he's in danger, and he's waiting for mommy and daddy to come save him, and they never did. And in his head, my parents abandoned me.
Yeah.
His father was like, I couldn't get over that.
Daddy took out the boogeyman, that's for sure.
He had to go. I'm telling you right now, if I wish I was on the jury, because I would have been like, nope, this motherfucker is innocent. I demand him, give him a milkshake and a fucking $100 and send him home to his son.
Yeah.
Fucking give him a medal, something. You can't charge this man with anything.
I really would.
Yeah, this is something Anonymous put down, which it's always me a hot button thing with he's just, the shootings, it's fucking daily. But I'm still with Al, in this aspect, anyone knows me, I don't give a fuck who you vote for, I don't care, period. It's just with this guy, he was arrested he opened fire on a group of 30 Trump supporters, and I'm like, okay, look, if you don't I made a comment, listen, I'm not a fan of the Orange Man myself, but if I see a group of people walking with Trump hats, I'm not going to pull out a machine gun and start unloading on you. Oh shit!
This
guys.
is a commando.
Did he make it out alive?
Yeah, the cops got him. So it's let's see, it was North Carolina on Tuesday for shooting at a group of Trump supporters that included children. And he was driving on I-77 in South Carolina when he saw the people on the bridge. And then he pulled out a gun, started firing at them after he was passing them and yelling obscenities. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but they could have easily been hit by the gunfire, and the police did catch him. So, it says 30 people gathered and were waving American flags and holding up Trump signs, and then he just at the highway patrol, and he was just shooting at them and shit. So. But he was charged with 6 counts of assault and battery, 1 count of unlawful carrying a pistol, 1 count of pointing and presenting firearms at a person in possession of a firearm. So there was also 2 passengers in his car that were released. So, yeah.
At least he didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
Welcome to 2020.
Like I said, I'm just I don't give a shit whatever you want, whatever you put. Just goddamn doing open fucking farm, people wearing MAGA hats, Jesus Christ,
And the fact that it's not even just adults, but there were kids there. That's
why I just said, I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna pick what side you want to, but if I see a group of people walking with kids there, my initial reaction is to fucking pull out a gun and just start opening fire, man. Goddamn, guys,
that's the thing, like or hate him, like or hate Biden, if you're walking past something and you don't agree with it, and there are children there, don't.
Yeah.
You're a scumbag. No matter what.
Did you see Mom shared this today? Which I was shocked. I'm sure. I know everyone's got Mom on Facebook, but she shared a story about the child trafficking, sex trafficking.
Oh, the 40 some odd kids who were found
it was
and saved. Yeah.
Pull it up.
Kids.
I was like, wait, was anyone executed?
In Georgia?
Okay, here it is. This is also why, I've also said it. This is the media. We've all talked about this. If it wasn't for, say, Facebook right now, okay?
Yeah.
We're in Albany, New York, and this doesn't affect our everyday lives.
Yeah.
Just because we don't, there's nowhere, at least in the city or my neighborhoods, if there's child sex trafficking, I know about this shit. But, if you don't know about it, it's still going on, whether you know about it or not. So, nearly 40 missing children rescued during Georgia's sex trafficking bust. Damn, 40 fucking kids, man.
Yep.
That
was only one place. That's the scary part.
For 2 weeks, U.S. Marshals, fugitive hunters, and other agencies scoured north and middle of Georgia looking for missing and exploited children. And all 26 endangered kids were recovered, and 13 missing children were found. Wow.
I couldn't do that. I'm going to say it right now. I would have executed every fucking adult right then and there and not blinked twice or had a second thought.
See, the suspects are now behind bars, of course. So.
No, that's too...
As state prosecutors step in and handle the cases, and medical and social workers focus on helping traumatized kids. So they call the people who did this shit.
I would have shot them in their genitals so they could never use them again. Fuck those people.
Other major cities across the country have similar operations underway. Most of them yet to be completed. So the governor himself just tweeted that, I applaud the work of law enforcement and Operation Not Forgotten. We'll continue to work around the clock to bring an end to human trafficking and ensure the perpetrators of this evil industry know they have no place in our state. But actually, every now there's a list of all the people. Wow, they arrested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They had 10 different arrests.
Yep.
Oh no, 8 men arrested during undercover sex trafficking sting.
Please tell me that when they were arrested, they resisted and got the ever-living shit stomped out of their skulls.
Wishful thinking.
Oh, no. Please tell me that they were kicked so hard in their testicles they exploded and caused unimaginable pain.
Those type of guys, whenever guys do the most heinous shit, they're the ones that give up the easiest. They're the ones that want the least amount of pain. Like, they want to be able to rape and murder and pillage and plunder, but they don't want to be hurt.
That's why I couldn't do it, because I would aim my gun right at their crotch and just unload a pistol.
Those are the kind of guys you tie them on the ground and have pit bulls fucking eat off their genitals.
Yep. Not like that dude in the video you sent Chris where they just stoned them to death. That's what they fucking deserve.
That kind of shit is like, people, like, when you show that to, like, the average person, they're disturbed by it. But I feel like if you're raping children, this is the fate you deserve. Like, you're raping children. Like, children.
Yeah.
Like, you deserve
kids
the
who
worst.
look up to you like you're supposed to protect them and guide them properly. You deserve horrific, unimaginable pain. And it should be recorded and showed to other people. Like, this will happen to you. We will find you. You will suffer unimaginable torment, you sick fucks.
Well, like even I was saying, right now it's like, definitely with the fucking media, it's like they're so focused on everything else that, like, this, I mean, if mom didn't share this and she got it from kind of like just like it was something like almost like it's like an article, like it's the internet now to me is like the paper. It's like this was, if we had the New York Post or something, this is like page like 8 or 9 or something like that. It's like it's not a front headline, and so like this shit's still going on. We just it's how much we don't talk about it, and how much it's not like this is not in any fucking major headline right now. It's like they just rescued 40 fucking children just got rescued from sex trafficking. This should be destroying my phone right now and every single thing popping up on my phone.
But it's not. And like that's the sad part is it's probably the most serious issue we have in this country.
Then of course we got this guy Kyle just shot 2 people, and that's like my phone every 10 seconds my phone's just blowing up.
The vigilante guy.
There was a song written about this by Soul Train called "Runaway Train," and how it was a fucking song, and there was a music video about missing kids and teenagers more frequently than people could imagine, and people are just like,
That's because that shit it didn't just start. This has been going on for so long.
Yeah.
We're at the point where people are just fucking numb to it. It's like, oh, fucking 50 girls missing.
Well, only 50.
That's it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that's a good thing. That's sarcasm, people.
That's crazy. We've become desensitized to it because it's not. It's like Chris said. It's not affecting our daily lives, but it's still happening. But we don't. We just don't pay attention to it. Like, we don't.
Yeah.
I want to break a bottle and like hunt down my neighbors now. Are you fucking pedophile and trafficker?
The internet has become like a lot bigger, but like I said, I would say just roughly, I was around 20, 21 years old. The internet started kind of bigger. But like, figure like all my young years, my teenage years, this shit was still going on in the 80s and 90s. Just that we didn't have the internet to like talk about this shit.
Before that.
See, I was lucky enough where my dad used to make the statement. He's like, if someone ever stole you, they just give you back because you annoy them to death. It's like, I can't disagree with them, but it's like, damn, Dad.
Sue.
Then that's changed where I keep saying, fat people are harder to kidnap.
He may have said that at one point about Robert.
That's why I'm never worried about fucking Jen. Ain't nobody kidnapping Jen's ass.
See, now I just went through this whole thing.
No one would kidnap Kaya. She'd throw a freaking brick at him.
Like, Sue was a kid, like, oh, come in my van for some candy, and the dude just pushes her out and speeds off. Fuck you, kid. Boom.
Yeah, I asked Jen what she was doing. What are you doing today? She's like, I'm up at the lake partying. Of course you are.
Yeah, he literally would make the statement because my mom would... Well, she wasn't as paranoid as my grandmother was. That's the thing. My grandmother was super paranoid, and my dad would always make the statement. He's like, you're afraid someone's gonna steal them. Who the fuck would want them?
But yeah, the only thing is now we have the internet where it's probably easier because the internet, you can easily find these kids on TikTok, Facebook, MySpace, and all that. But it's always been like this.
Well, it's like, you know, I think like...
There have always been those creeps out there who, like, if they see a little kid or they see a teenage girl, they always do something sketchy, creepy, whatever. Or if they're online, they message them, pretend that they're, like, their age.
Yeah.
And, like, lure them to freaking, like, a location.
There are people on TikTok that did that because I guess you can be partnered up with people for videos.
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of, like, there was a lot of pedophiles on there who would just be partnered up with all these young kids and then start messaging them after they make these videos and stuff. And I'm just like, all I can do is just stare at the screen and blink. It's like, man, I just want to break bottles over these people. I wanted to be like Elliot from fucking Special Victims Unit. I wanted to find these guys and just throw them out windows. But okay, I'm going to go to jail, but I fucking killed some pedophiles, so I'm okay with that.
Now, this is the thing. This is why I keep making this roundabout. I always keep coming back to the topic of, like, at some point, we're going to have to deal with them in terms of a discussion, an actual discussion of what do we do with them. Because right now, all the laws are against them. But we keep making more.
No.
Murder.
Like, as long as humans keep producing humans, we'll always make more.
No.
Like, that's the problem.
Murder.
We send them to an island. We put cameras on the island.
Epstein was there.
They can all kill
There's
themselves.
already been pedophile
No.
island.
They all fight to the death. The last one gets set free to be put back on the island and fight other ones. It'll be like that movie, The Convicted, with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Except I make all the money by watching pedophiles kill pedophiles.
See, what'll be dangerous about
condemned.
that is when you put them all together, you make an army of them.
Well, that's why I have a lot of guns and a lot of bullets.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm trading you the Gulata for a strawberry.
I'm not keeping track, so... Yeah. Well, it's like you're saying that you say every episode, which it's true. It's like when you say shit like, you know, everyone should be watching out for their own, protecting local communities, and all these things keep happening. Like, you know, if
People would actually listen.
Well, there was a time in
that.
neighborhoods, like, you know, the kids in this neighborhood, if these kids went missing all of a sudden, I'm sure the whole neighborhood would know about it and shit. Like, but then if there's 40 children missing, if like somebody just randomly small kidnapped 5 kids from this neighborhood, I think it should be kind of aware at some point. Like where they just go, you know? It's like these kids they're just taken. Nobody saw shit. It's just
like hard rain.
Well, you figure though, back when like your grandmother was alive, how many of the kids played right out in front of her house? She knew every last one of their names.
Yep.
So if something happened, she'd be like, "Hey, where is so and so today?"
Yeah. Everyone knew everybody's mothers and stuff. Everyone knew everybody's, you know, where they're going, had your parents' phone numbers, and
Yeah. Remember that? Like when we were kids, we couldn't even have friends if our parents didn't know their parents and shit.
Yeah.
Like nowadays it's different. Like nowadays kids are like fucking their whole
so if you want to spend the night at your friend's house, you had to have your parents call their parents and confirm it.
Yeah.
And shit you were just. It's definitely weird. It's like, you know, like mom nowadays with Kai. It's like, well, Kai's got a cell phone. I don't know where she is. Back 80s and 90s, we didn't have cell phones. You knew where we were at all times.
Exactly. Kaya doesn't answer her phone.
Yeah, well.
My mother was lethal. My mother would be like, before that sun is down, be in the
I
house.
can tell mom. Well, that's
what was funny, and this is something I wanted to kick her ass over. It's like, okay, so she's not answering for your mom. I call her. She doesn't answer for me. So I'm kind of pissed. I'm like, you know, it's not like I'm your parent. Like, I'm your cousin, your sister cousin at that. So you could have answered for me. Mm-hmm. Second, then your mom was bringing me up to work, and she finally calls me back. I'm like, Kaya, where are you? And she's like, tell her I'll be home by like 2 p.m. And I'm like, Kaya, where are you though? Oh. And she's like, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, it does matter. Like, she's going to kick your ass. Like, where the fuck are you? And she hangs up. And I'm like, Okay, now I want to kill her. Just because.
Oh, that's a parenting problem. His mom, stop spoiling your kid. Take her fucking phone away. There you go. Not hard. So the way he's only 13, but the way guy talks to friggin' mom, it's like, let Christian at 15 talk to me like that. Watch how fast that kid's gonna be fucking body slammed on the damn ground. Like,
but like that's the difference.
Your ass knows better, boy. Like,
that's how you can tell like the difference between like how your mom was when she was raising you, Jamie, and Jen, and how she's raising Kaya.
Yeah, well, that's a whole generation.
It's the generational thing.
Well, which is parents' fault. Like,
I would get punched in the face talking shit to mom when I was young, or slapped, or have a broom beaten over my ass.
2 days ago, first time I actually raised my voice to mom in a long time. You were upstairs, and I was freaking pissed off because hasn't happened in like years, because we mentioned coming back from our Carlton's house, and the story we brought up, which is a while back, but Carlton was mentioning with Al was mentioning with Karen and Carlton, that whole situation which we talked about a while back with the couple and stuff, and the protesters going by, and I said, I was like, I totally understand. We all said everybody involved was in the wrong, but even Karen had that attitude as a couple. Chris, if people were protesting down the street, me and Carlton, I'm like, and what I would say, Karen, again, it's you and Carlton versus 150 protesters. Who do you think's going to win that fucking battle royale? 2 versus 150? It's not even a question of what's going to happen. It's going to turn into a fucking bloodbath. It's like, on top of that, couple, to my knowledge, they had kids inside the house, and I'm like, yes, the protesters weren't wrong for breaking down the lock, but I really thought about it like, what is a lock? A padlock, a deadbolt, whatever the case may be. They broke into a gated community, yes, but like, are you willing to die and have your kids be fucking slaughtered over someone breaking down a lock? But then mom's like, well, somebody broke into this house. I'm like, but thing is, a gated community is not a neighborhood. It's like they're not directly breaking into your house. I'm like, they are breaking into, yes, a gated community, but like, it's like, Mom, if outside we seen 100 people protesting, I'm gonna lock the fucking doors and hit the car alarm. I'm not leaving. Now, somebody comes into this house, we have a different situation, but I'm like, too many people are right now so fucking trigger happy and so willing to prove a point. Now, I seen this article about 3 days ago where this woman was out there at a Trump rally, okay, and she brought her 7-year-old. Something happened where the 7-year-old got punched in the face or something, and over a MAGA hat and this and that, and I'm like, look, the times we're living in right now. The guy just shot a bunch of Trump people. Don't bring your 7-year-old. Yeah, and she goes into that whole, like, why should I be able to support who I want, vote for who I want? I'm like, yes, you can. But also, at this point, it's 2020. Any 5-year-old has a cell phone. You have to be at some point some kind of self-aware. That if you're going to sit there, if you're going to go out to a protest, and right now how the political climate is at, Al said this, even Carlton and Karen's house, that right now in our history, at least in our lifetimes, the politics have never been this fucking toxic at all. So it's like, I'm just saying, like, if you want to, I fully support. We do as civilized people. You want to throw a fucking MAGA sticker on your car, by all means do it. Also understand the fact, if you do that, someone's probably going to key your car. That's just how the fuck shit is, and Mom.
That's the thing. Like, people right now are really polarized, and it's unnecessary. Like, regardless of what side of the fence you fall on,
you should be allowed to vote for whoever the fuck you want to.
You should be allowed to, but the problem is people have now become sort of like cultish.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. Like, you look at if you look at the people that support Biden, they ignore everything that he's done wrong, and they're like, we want Biden no matter what. It's the same on the Trump side. Exactly. So it's like people are at the point where it's like, it doesn't, like, they don't even care about being normal citizens anymore. Right now, Americans are at the point where they hate each other and want each other dead. This is how wild. It's never been like this before. Like, it's crazy. It's insane. It's like and this is the first time in my lifetime I've heard American citizens like, let's start a civil war and let's kill these guys. And this is like, you hear it on both sides. You hear like Democrats, you hear Republicans screaming it like, let's fight this war and let's get rid of these guys. Like, do you understand that nothing good comes from a civil war? There's no winners in that war, regardless of what side you're on. That's not a winning war.
Well,
that's a losing prospect all the way around.
It started getting loud because she's and like Mom had the mentality of the couple. Like, well, I would go out there and I'm like, it was like I would go out there and like if I was younger, I go out there with a gun too, and I'm like, yep. I was like, and then you become a fucking bullet riddled corpse too. And I was like, it's like
I stand behind that 100%. I know people disagree with me, but I stand behind it 100%. Going out there armed does nothing but makes the situation worse.
Especially when the couple, the fucking guns were unloaded.
Yeah.
Like, you made it that much worse. Like,
that's the thing that triggered me even more. I'm like, well, if the guns aren't loaded, what was the purpose? Because now you're out there with a gun, and people that see you with a gun, they have no way of knowing your guns are loaded.
Exactly.
So if somebody in the crowd was stupid or just felt trigger happy, that could have became really bad. And for what? Just for these guys to prove a point.
I keep telling people, there are so many people out there that this, like, especially on social media, there's reality and there's what you want. Guys, there was a time, you think when people were getting fucking whipped, picking fucking cotton and shit too, and having their women raped and stuff, and like, you think these guys enjoyed shit? Like, you think they fucking volunteered to be called always dehumanizing freaking names, calling them fucking niggers and stuff, and beating the fuck out of them? And you think slaves were voluntary? No, but that's the way it fucking was. They couldn't do anything about it. I'm like, guys, yes, things right now are bad. They shouldn't be this way. But it's like, I told her, like, as being a dad, I'm like, Mom, it's like, we can talk about this shit and run in circles, but like, the second when my son starts becoming a fucking liability, I put my kid in danger, your whole attitude's going to change then. I'm seeing more and more, now kids are getting involved.
And I agree with you to the point of, as a parent, the safety of your child should be first. You understand that we're in a toxic environment right now. I would not take my kid out anywhere with a shirt that's Biden 2020, Trump 2020, MAGA, none of that shit. Because, like you said, there is going to be an idiot somewhere that's going to say, oh, let me shoot up this crowd. Yeah, I'm not putting my kid in that line of sight, like.
Just like that one, I don't know if you guys saw the videos or pics, but that Jeep trying to go past and that idiot pulled out the gun. There was behind him by about 20 feet was a guy who had his little kid with him. And the dude 20 feet away had a gun pointing at cars. I'm like, dude, whoa, why is your fucking kid there? Then there are people in the middle, like, blocking traffic with strollers with kids that young in. And I'm like, dude, why do you have a fucking stroller with you? Like, what's wrong with you?
I don't know if you guys seen this, Al and Ellie, because Susan here, when Jen posted that a few days back, you see that thing in New York City where, like, the whole group there the woman was eating dinner and stuff, and they're yelling at her about Black Lives Matter, and you have to put your hands up and something. And I just said to Jen, like, listen, if we're out to dinner and a whole group surrounds us, if they're yelling at us, let them yell. I'm like, are they hurting me? Are they until they put their hands on you? If I'm out there eating a burger or something, someone's like, you have to.
What were they trying to accomplish? Anyway?
I don't know.
You had to raise your fist in solidarity, or you are a racist and bigot.
The sick part is, we see this all the fucking time. There wasn't a single black person in that crowd.
Yeah. It was a bunch of college flunkies.
You got, like, whatever, 50 freaking college kids all yelling, and this woman sitting there, at the diner, and then telling this woman, you have to denounce your white privilege, and you have to see Black Lives Matter, and she's I'm just like, but ignore them?
You know what makes that stupid? Is because this is the problem. Even if that woman was pro-Black Lives Matter, you now put her in a situation where she either has to be intimidated by you or stand her ground. Yeah. Right? You put her in that situation. So now, why would I even side with you? Because you came out here trying to intimidate me in a group. I'm not going to side with you now.
And then they showed that this woman actually on her social media profiles, she was actually pro Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
It's like so.
But they may have changed her mind. But because
like I was saying,
why would I side with you if you come out here with this whole animosity trying to intimidate me? You'd have no idea of who I am or what I'm doing. You just see me sitting here eating. And this is the game plan to roll out here in the crowd and try to intimidate me? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. It makes zero sense.
The Washington Post. It was, from Black Lives Matter in D.C. They demanded that all of the white diners show solidarity and raise their fists. It says, Lauren Victor refused to comply with the mob's demand. And this is what followed. Yeah, and the whole group is just, like, getting her face and this and that. And like I said, I would have looked at them, started laughing, turned back around, started eating my salad or whatever. It's like, what are you going to do? And so, until you guys put your hands on me, just go away. But that's like this. So many people out there just have these people can't do this and that. And I'm like, so for some of these ideals, I get it. When people start getting hurt or getting shot or like the cops are fucking kneeling on their necks and stuff. But like a lot of these other things, said you guys want to go out there and put your lives and your kids' lives at online for like a red hat or for because someone broke a combo lock or something. I'm like, it's getting ridiculous.
It's getting crazy.
Someone had dinner and I had to interrupt it. But why? Well, people have been waiting to go out to have dinner for months now. Let them have a fucking dinner.
Like from this, I could say this from here on out. From this point on, I'm done debating politics because, like, when you sit back and look at it, it's a toxic mess that we're in. Yeah, and regardless of which side you support, it is a toxic mess that we're in.
It really is. It's toxic on both sides, and there's no denying it unless you're so biased and blinded. You're like, no, it's not that bad. No, it's bad on all sides, and everybody needs to just step back, take a breath, open your eyes, take off those stupid ass glasses like I'm in the right. No, you're not. You're being manipulated because that's what it is.
It's scary because people are so polarized now that they like literally Americans are ready to kill each other.
Yeah.
Like, and that's terrible. Like, literally, people are walking out the streets. Like you said, that guy that fucking took a shot at the Trump supporters, and then this guy goes out to shoot the looters or whatever. Like, people are at the point now where I'm willing to kill because of what I believe in. And that is dangerous.
I don't know if that dude
only gets worse.
Dead or in a coma, but that kid who was soccer kicked in the head and in a coma for defending a transgender person who was being attacked. It's stupid. You defended somebody and I think he's in a coma or something. It's like this is just what are you really showing except for you're violent.
Yeah. And that's the thing to Ella, and like you said before, and like I agree with you with the whole like don't make this racial divide. I'm like, I could even debate that. It's not even a racial thing anymore because like I can pull up YouTube or Facebook fucking videos. There's plenty of Trump supporters that are black.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of Black Lives Matter that are white people that are doing these fucking mobs. It's not even like a race thing. It's coming down to like, I said, it's
a group.
Politics parties.
Mob mentality.
Really
Oh, because I think this way, I have to do what they're doing. Oh, because I'm against what they believe, I have to do what these people are doing. Oh, why don't you be an individual and think for yourself, you fucking sheep?
Yeah. It scares me because I feel like a civil war is inevitable. That's the way I feel right now.
It really is.
And it's kind of scary because...
Well, like you were here for Tuesday, Al, which said I didn't know Junior was coming down, but you can listen to it. And we laughed for a while, had Junior giggling and stuff. And I Elliot...
Oh, man.
Elliot laughed for it. I went into like this whole good half-hour spiel, which you can listen to, just about the whole like kids thing. Because like I told you before, it's I wanted to wait to get away from Carlton and Karen's place and get back down. So now we're all miserable and pissed off as we should be. And with the whole children thing, like I said, I just and I see it all the time. Kids, whenever I see a kid die, the last thing I don't give a shit if this kid is purple or blue or black, whatever. And now it's like politics becoming so heinous. Al, we're just like oh, this kid died, but so she was a little black girl. Well, should you say sorry? Well, I do want to say sorry, but compared to like the Asian, it's like now we're turning children's deaths into a 1-up contest, and it's like and
it's crazy because people always have a political point to make.
Yes,
like understand that when somebody loses a kid, that is a dead kid. That's hard on anybody. Nobody needs to look online and see their kid's name being used as some kind of argument or some bullshit.
I gotta share it on Facebook. I seen it when I was looking at this Thorne on break. Rappaport did something, and below there was a cop issue happened for like a few weeks back, but this cop was in. I gotta watch the whole video again, but he just said like he was on his phone during investigation, and reporters were crucifying the cop. And said, listen, he went into this big spiel. We're just like, I was checking my phone. He goes, right now we have like 80% homicide rate of black people in this community, and he said like as me and all my officers, we have to go to the scene and have a mother. We have to do a crime scene on this mother who just lost her 4-year-old girl who just got shot in the fucking head. I mean, this cop was livid, and just like it's not about anything but like kids are dying. And the cop made a strong point. I'm like, yeah. And it's like I said too. Now it's like now a kid gets killed, and all it comes down to is like, well, do we blame the Republicans or Democrats? And I'm like, it's
you blame the person who pulled the fucking trigger on her. Kids are supposed to be protected and guided. They're supposed to be our future. We don't have a future if people are fucking shooting kids. I don't care if you hate Trump or you hate Biden. You know what? I can see why people have pros and cons for both. They say something which individuals can be like, look, I can get behind this. I support that 100%. If you can get behind any candidate, even if it's like South Park, a douche or a turd sandwich, fucking do it. That is your right as an individual. Not the mob, but your own person. Then do it. Because honestly, my opinion shouldn't affect it. You'd be like, you know what? Okay, you have your opinion. But I think Biden would be the best for this reason. Well, I think Trump is the best for this reason. Who gives a fuck? We're both right. Because you don't influence my choice. I don't influence yours. But when kids start getting killed, I'm sorry. Fucking throw these idiots off of a building. This is disgusting. These are little kids who are supposed to be guided to be better than what we are. And if we're nothing but a bunch of angry, well, fuck you, you voted this person, or you don't like my person, then we're no better than these people pulling the triggers. Because we're not teaching them anything better. We're just throwing hate on top of hate on top of hate.
Well, I seen it on Tuesday because I'm catching up because Kevin does his podcast on YouTube with his friend Mark, and I'm probably like 6 weeks behind, so I caught up on one from 6 weeks ago when everything was pretty bad. At one point, Kevin said Mark like an hour in, he said his wife Jen, her father, he's like, my father-in-law's in his 70s, and he was a cop, and he was a cop back in his 60s and 70s, and Kevin said to his father-in-law, he goes, hey, he's like, you were there during those riots back, and then he goes, yeah, he goes, Kevin's like, so compared to now, and his cops, his father was a retired police officer for like 30 years in the force. And he goes, well, how was it, nowadays is a comparison. He goes, honestly, Kevin, he goes, the shit happening now is the worst I've ever seen in my life. He goes, the riots we had back in the 60s and 70s, there's nowhere near the shit that's going on nowadays. And I mean, said, I wasn't there, I couldn't tell you, but like this is just one person's opinion.
I wish people could sit down and actually talk about this on all sides, because it's not just Trump, it's not Biden, it's individual groups on both sides that are like, no, I'm not for Trump, but I don't want these assholes to do it. It's not, no, I'm not for Biden, but I don't want these assholes to be here. Everybody needs to put their fucking guns down, because what are you doing marching into communities with guns? You're making a threatening presence because you have guns, which you may or may not consciously think will be used, but you have them for a reason. Yeah. And that in itself is scary. All groups with weapons is scary to me, because some asshole wants to use it. And when one idiot uses it, everybody else is going to use their weapons to stop that idiot. And then other people are going to use their weapons to stop those people stopping that one idiot. It takes that one idiot. I don't know. Yeah. I've seen a couple of videos where one idiot is in a crowd and he's like, yeah, let's fucking burn a car. Let's burn a building. Let's flip a car. And they're like, get the fuck out of here. We're not about that. We want to get our message across that it's not okay to do this or that. And I'm like...
That happened right in Albany when they were trying to protest. There was this one kid screaming, at the cops, and everybody's telling him, yo, shut the fuck up, because he was like adding pressure where it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I was watching that video, John sent it to me on YouTube. It was like, this kid was just going the fuck crazy. It was just one guy just going crazy, and everybody was just like, yo, shut the fuck up, calm down. It ain't that kind of party. Like,
then it makes sense, but then what makes it scarier is in other situations, though, all it takes is one person to start a fucking start a riot.
The dangerous thing about people carrying guns is that it's already proven carrying a gun changes the psychology of a person. It's the thing that makes you feel emboldened and braver. It's the difference between a man standing in the jungle facing a lion scared to death and a man standing in the jungle facing a lion with no fears. That gun. Because if you're unarmed, you're not facing a lion. But if you have a gun, you've got all the braveness in the world. The gun changes the psychology of people. And you give a guy a gun, you put him in a situation and bolster his head and make him feel that he's invincible, he's going to do some stupid shit. Just like you said, it's just going to be a domino effect. Because he's going to open fire, somebody's going to say, we got to stop that guy. Other people are going to be like, oh, you can't shoot my friend. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's a shootout. And it's crazy.
It's like a Civil War battle. Yeah. Like, have you guys seen that movie, Shoot 'Em Up?
Yeah.
Where he's like,
Yeah, watch it.
Where it's like, funny. I'm not a pussy with a gun. I'm a man, because a lot of pussies have guns. I'm like, huh? I didn't understand that. But more and more lately, it's insecure people who have these guns. It's like, why do you have that gun? Well, just in case someone messes with me, I'm going to show them I'm a man. Like, does that make you a man?
Yeah, that's why I said in prison, it's funny, like, how often you see that a lot of these street tough guys and shit, once they're in fucking jail, once your guns are taken away, boy, is your attitude fucking change in jail, though.
I'm telling you, like, somebody said that in a song I was listening to the other day. It's like, oh, this guy on the street was all kinds of gangster, and then he goes to jail, he doesn't have a gun, and his whole gangster goes away. All of a sudden, he's in jail, and he's the bottom bitch. Like, it's the truth. Like, when you give this is why there's so much, like, gang activity. You give these young kids guns and tell them they're somebody, and they're running around feeling like the man because they got a gun. You take that gun away, and they're nobody.
As funny as it is, like, and people don't get this, between high school, prison, and the streets, prison is actually the safer place because they don't have access to guns, and you get to see these guys for what they really are. And these guys, what they really are, when they're by themselves, even in a freaking group, it's like, it's still the fact there's 4 or 5 of you and 1 of me. But the thing is, there's 4 or 5 of you and 1 of me. The fucking 5 of you can't fight for shit because where your guns at. Now, someone like me who's raised on the friggin' streets, who's got street smarts, oh, trust me, I may get down with a couple of you, but out of the 4 or 5 of you, I'm taking out at least 3 of you fuckers. It's
I can say this with confidence. If people just sat down, had a conversation over a couple of beers and a nice meal, they would find out they have more in common than what they have against each other.
This is the thing. Here's what's weird about that, is that people know that. They know it.
Yeah.
But they've just decided, nope, I'm Biden, I'm Trump.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear nothing.
Exactly.
They just made that decision. You know, it's like, it's weird because they know, like, honestly, we're a country made up of citizens that need each other. Like, we're all from the same country. We're not 2 different places. There's like, I heard, I was listening to this thing earlier today, and they're talking about red states, blue states. I was like, these guys don't understand. There's no such thing as a red state or a blue state. That's a political jargon that people use when they want to be elected in a certain state. The reality of it is, all a red state or a blue state means is that the person who's in power in this state is of a certain party.
Yeah.
In every state, there are Democrats and Republicans in all states. There are 2-party people in every state. There's no state that is a blue state where only Democrats live or a red state where only Republicans live. That doesn't exist. But people don't get that. They feel like, oh, that's a red state, fuck it, I don't care. Oh, that's a blue state, fuck them, I don't care.
Yeah. Exactly.
But what you're saying is, fuck these fellow American citizens. That's what you're saying, which is insane to me. like that's insane. Whatever happened to the concept of we're all American, we should all look out for each other. Like, we should care for each other. We should, like, I just don't get it, though. I don't get how we got to the point of, I hate this person so much because of their political affiliation that I want them dead. Like, you know, how did we get to the point of, I'm Democrat, kill all Republicans. I'm Republican, kill all Democrats. How did we get here? Like how did we get to this
partially blame the internet. I only say partially because you can access anything at a couple of strokes, but I blame the people themselves because they're the ones that, that's why I say partially, because when we didn't have the internet and access the world of knowledge at our fingertips, it wasn't really like this. Yeah, we made fun of people who may have listened to different music. You know, we still had our bullies in school that we all dealt with. Either we were the bully, we saw someone getting bullied. Yeah, now you have cowards who hide behind a phone and say stupid shit. That's why I like Cobra Kai. It was back then to what it is now. Back then, you had Danny LaRusso getting beat up face to face, and then he personally took it upon himself as a mission to piss off his bullies, which just then got him his ass beat worse. To now, the new one in school, they're talking about, oh, well, non-gender identifying individuals and people crying at home for getting nasty text messages. And I'm like, God damn, if that doesn't literally show you what the difference between, you know, when The Karate Kid was a movie to Cobra Kai as a sitcom came out, then you really are just, you're living with, as the Beatles said, living is easy with eyes closed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, back then, you either, you know, your parents would be like, you know what, you need to face your bullies and all that. And either you did or you didn't. Yeah. Nowadays, it's like you get a text message or there's a blog about you. I'm like, holy shit, when did it become so... It's not even complicated. It's just kind of pathetic. People have become more cowards than anything. Online, you're an invisible entity. You're a picture with a name, and it doesn't even have to resemble you at all. It could be a cat with the name of, like, you know, Two Strokes... 6972. And like, that's your identity. You're hiding behind this persona because you're too much of a coward to be that person in real life.
I'll play this audio, but it's only 10 seconds. But like, Rappaport showed us yesterday. It says Looney Tunes. He goes, all right. He says, you're walking home and this happens. What do you do? This looks like a sentence or something. But look at these people. He said, told his girls, he said, watch your language. Hold on. And let's see, put it right here.
Chris having trouble with the internet.
No. It's like really? Was like someone like that. It's like I put down like that. It's like that's someone came from a generation of fucking participation trophies.
And the fucked up thing about that is, why would I talk to you at that point?
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, why would I even have a conversation with you?
Yeah,
there is no conversation.
And that's what Mike put down. He's like, how do you, he's like, you're walking home. This happens. What do you do? He's like, how would you respond to this?
Walk
coke?
away.
I would keep it.
That's all you can do. Yeah.
Like at that point, whatever conversation you were hoping for, or whatever answer you were hoping for, is absolutely not.
Yeah,
happening.
So I put down. I was like, see, this 20 hours ago. I'm like, this is what you get from a generation of kids who got participation trophies and never got slapped by their parents. I was like, I would have paid good money to see at the last second someone come up behind her and hit her with a haymaker.
What was that movie with Michael Jackson? Oz? Yeah. Keep on down the road. That's what I would do. I would fucking start singing that song, but keep on down the road.
I wouldn't have said a word. I would have just kept it moving.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
On a side note, to what Al we mentioned, like the political stuff and the everything going on. So yeah, when Al was talking about this shit at Carlton's house, I had him send me this on WhatsApp because I believed him 100% because I know Al doesn't bullshit me. But I, like anything, I was like, you know what? Let me just sit down, have a couple fucking drinks because I can't be sober for this shit. And I have Al send me the whole Proud Boys thing, and I'm just reading up on it. Just like at first, I'm laughing by how absurd it is. But you know what? The Proud Boys founder is actually Canadian. He's not. Yeah. He's not even fucking American. But so Al sent me. I had to see the OK symbol, and I spent 10 minutes just giggling in my chair, just sitting there, just like I can't.
Yeah, that's just what I do because I'm tired of all of these groups.
It's like it in my brain. It's like you would have to sit down for like 10 hours with me and beat me with like a Bible or something. Explain to me where your train of thought is. Where you got the OK symbol to be 3 W's and a fucking P. There's not like any language on this planet currently you could explain to me where you got that from. And I'm looking at it like...
Well, like I said, and I believe it's the NBA where players will run around doing like this after a 3-point shot because it means a 3-pointer. So that's where it gets complicated.
No, we all know what the OK symbol is.
Their thing was, and this is according to their own website, you can go to the Proud Boys website and verify
I don't even want to fuck...
But they wanted a symbol that they could use in public without being in any danger of being exposed. Yeah. This is how that came to be.
Exposed.
Because doing this to everybody means okay.
Exactly.
It means everything's
fine. Yeah, that's what I grew up on. This means A-okay, or it means asshole. A-S-S, hole. Asshole.
It's just that universally it's just been okay. But like, well, I was telling Al, I made a joke, but I was like, I'm dead serious. Like, you know, I hope it doesn't gain any kind of real traction because, like, you know, say you and me, just say old friends catch up and you give somebody the okay sign. If I ever was to be attacked by somebody, I'm like, listen, I'm going to like try out my best. I get where you're coming from. It's not my intention to not kick the shit out of you. And I'm going to take my week off vacation, find where in California the Proud Boys are located at, and find the biggest, blackest.
They're based out of all different states here.
Yeah.
Like I was I need to find online watching all these things. I didn't realize that they were, I hadn't realized they were as big as they were, but they're a lot bigger than I thought they were. And they had, a lot of them have been arrested for all these assaults, all these attacks, like several different murders. Like a lot of them have been arrested and in jail. And what police forces across the nation and the government have been trying to do is get them to disband. But that's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah.
Right? It's a lot easier to say that than to get it done.
That's why I don't agree with any of these groups anymore. You showed the thing with this new group referring to themselves as the Patriots, and I'm just like, dude, it's like a LARPing session gone wrong with these fake-ass shields. Like, look like Captain America shields. You know, I'm fucking done with all of them.
I don't think the fuck.
Sit down and have a conversation.
I'd end this by saying, if I ever got into a fight because somebody misunderstood me saying okay, I need to find out what chapter of Proud Boys in my area. I'm going to go undercover. I'm going to take the biggest, blackest fucking dildo I can find and beat you almost to death with it. Then as you're fucking lying there covered in blood, pull your pants on, shove it straight up your ass, okay, make you fucking choke on. Like, you got the okay symbol. Oh, Christ. Like,
yeah, you shouldn't go around screaming any sort of power because you're not helping fucking anybody. You're a fucking moron. And yes, I know I probably sound like Chris in episode 1, but you need to stop this. If you have a point, say your point, but do it peacefully. The moment it becomes violent for any group, you lost my attention and respect. That is just it. It doesn't matter what group you are anymore because
I agree with that 100%.
They've all become toxic. And I've started watching Netflix shows to avoid this shit. Like, I binge watched 3 seasons of Hannibal, 5 seasons of Lucifer. I binge watched the 7 Deadly Sins, Baki. 2 seasons of Cobra Kai. I'm waiting on other stuff, and I'm just tired of politics because every time. It's like South Park. I feel like Stan, where everybody talks and shit shoots out of their fucking mouth. Like, Trump talks and shit just starts shooting out of his mouth. Biden starts with his pop, corn pop started, and just shit starts shooting. Yeah, Kamala Harris with her, and I'm gonna support, and just shit starts flying everywhere. Shut the fuck up, everybody. I don't care about Fauci. I don't care about anybody. I don't care about de Blasio and his insane, stupid. No restaurants are going to be open till at least next year. You know what? None of you are helping our problem right now. So shut the hell up.
This is why these people can't relate to us, like normal, everyday, working class people.
They choose
did you
not
guys?
to.
So did you follow up or do any kind of researching about the whole 17-year-old there, Kyle?
I didn't go any further than the initial videos that I watched of him.
I just said initial off the bat because some people accuse me of being political. I'm not political by any means. I just said off the fucking bat. All I'm saying off the bat is I have a 13-year-old. 4 years from now, my kid will not be walking around any part of here with the goddamn AR-15. Off the bat, let me just get that out the way. I am not condoning a 17-year-old walking around with a goddamn AR-15. I mean, it's such a massive shit zone. This was a prime example, almost like I would mention with that thing. Like, I did watch as before you guys got here. Somebody shared on Joe Rogan group that an actual lawyer, because lawyers, this one lawyer on Facebook, actually black dude, was breaking down like how they're gonna of course go for the whole self-defense thing, and that in itself is controversial. But I just said that like for all parties involved, no matter what happened, I still agree the kid should have fucking been there. Like. It's a very hot topic with him, but like...
See, that's the thing. Like, you could say, like, okay, they, attacked him, but he shouldn't have had a freaking gun in the
Not
first
to mention,
place.
I don't know about anybody, but I can tell you one thing. If you kill a person, and ask anybody who's in the military, killing people takes a psychological effect on you. Yeah. Okay? And it's like, one guy tried saying, we send fucking kids to war in Afghanistan. Yeah, we do. All the time. We send kids to war in the military. And how many people come back fucked up?
If they come back at all.
I mean, at 17, you know what I was doing? I was playing PlayStation with Carlton and Willie, and we were playing Madden football and playing basketball. I wasn't walking around Albany with a fucking goddamn... I didn't murder 2 grown men at 17 years old. You don't think that's not going to fucking affect this kid long term? Like, you're 17, dude, and you murdered 2 fucking people.
17 years old, I was in the science club.
Honestly, all I can say is the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions.
Exactly.
He may have gone there to protect protesters and medical aid, if that need be the case. I say that was his intention.
Yeah.
Because there's videos of him saying, someone's been hurt, call a medic. That may have been his intention, but intention doesn't classify action.
Yeah. You still can't go around just taking matters into your own hands and killing people.
Well, he said the video I watched on, I'll post it on Facebook later because it was on Joe Rogan. No, they showed this black guy was a lawyer, and I felt that it was the most unbiased video I've seen. He said, here's the facts what this kid did, what these guys did, this is what's going to happen, blah. It's a good 10-minute video, and I liked what the guy said. He goes, he wasn't being any kind of he said flat out, the kid shouldn't have been there. they shouldn't have been there because, but this is what's going to happen with the long term. Like, so
how much you want to bet he's the only person who's going to sit there and actually be unbiased, where that's all concerned.
It's a possibility because we can all sit here and at least either agree or disagree in a verbal way without literally bashing each other's heads into a wall.
Some days.
But we don't physically do it. Yeah, we may toss bottle caps. Yeah, but the thing is, we haven't done it yet in 32 episodes. But we hear about this stuff, and it's just like, I can't help but roll my eyes anymore. I'm thinking to myself, Assassination High School just started tonight, and I'm just thinking, shit, that's more interesting what's going on in our streets.
Well, the thing that's been coming up is like, okay, so he shot 3 people, and one that he killed was a convicted pedophile. The second that he killed, who had the gun, I told Mom this, everybody, I'm a convicted felon. I cannot legally own a firearm. If I hold a firearm, that's illegal. The second guy did have a gun. He had a history of breaking and entering, so he legally had the gun. The third guy who got killed apparently was a registered wife beater, and he's beating women. Regardless of the fact that, like I said, these guys may or may not have had it coming, it's still a fact that this kid still killed 2 fucking people. Now, apparently the one who lived, he just posted on fucking Facebook, which is why the lawyer said you can watch the videos. It's an open shut case. The first thing he said was, I'm in the hospital. He goes, what I should have did is I should have killed the kid. You really just fucked yourself, dude.
That's the dumbest.
And he posted on social media. He goes, he's because he's got shot in the bicep, and he goes, he's like, the biggest mistake I made was not killing him and emptying my clip into him. Now the video shows where it's like you were attacking him, and you had the gun pointed at this kid. This kid was on the ground with his back. He shot him in the bicep, and
he probably didn't have legal representation, which would have told him to shut the fuck up and say literally nothing.
But like I said, no matter if this kid, he's Kyle, whatever he gets, he'll probably he's definitely gonna he'll probably beat the murder charge. But no matter what he gets, it's the point that you just fuck it. You 17, you killed 2 people. It's like.
Not just that, but his opinions on the world and how everything works is going to be completely flipped upside down.
Exactly.
Because he may have thought he went there with good intentions. Like I said, when people got hurt, he was the one calling for a medic. There was a video I think him or someone else was making. But just because you went there with good intention doesn't mean it's going to end that way. Because literally, we live in a point in time where nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. It doesn't matter what any of us think. We all think something different, and someone's going to get mad. Like I said earlier, I could say hi to someone. Someone could think, oh, that's sexual harassment, or I'm making fun of them. No, I say hi. With my really good friends, they say hi to me. I'm like, no, I'm not right now. What does that mean? I'm not high on drugs. Oh, I get it. Oh, but they're my friends. They know.
You have actual friends that aren't us?
I know. Surprising. I know. Well, Sue, there are other women out there I want to give my babies to.
I mean, that's fine. I don't want
exactly. So it's okay. Sue, it's not your fault.
Yeah. When our podcast finally becomes like viral, people are gonna want certain members of this group dead.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
There are gonna be hits on like all of us. That's why I asked Junior in the one where he's like, "Oh, we have 100 people listening." I'm like, "Well, who's like the least favorite?" Like,
I definitely am.
I
after
thought it was
last
at
week.
least like one of the 3 of us.
He wants to see me for revenge.
I literally come in here every day and threaten to impregnate Sue. I guarantee you, there's going to be a group of women that's like, "This guy is a fucking monster."
I just want to watch her eat cookies because these shirts you wear, I'm not gonna lie, my mind goes wild after a lot of drinks. It's like, my God, I may not be a pig, but I'm kind of a pig when I'm drunk. I'm a lonely guy.
Don't feel bad. Even girls sometimes look at other girls' boobs.
That's okay. I watch animes about this
First thing you see, like your mom put that seat, like she sits that down, like, look, now all the fucking Democrats is their fault that this kid shot 3 people. Like, the first thing you see, the goddamn Democrats is their fault.
I say goddamn people because
people are polarized like that. I shit you not. Like, I all day long, like when I go to TikTok.
Even your mom, like she was making the statement where this kid's concerned. Now you guys all know Nancy's like 100%.
But no, it's the point that it's goddamn Democrats, goddamn Republicans. No, a 17-year-old shot 3 people.
And that's the thing. When I'm on TikTok, this is all the videos I get. There's like, oh, well, thanks to the Democrats, this is happening. Oh, thanks to the Republicans. And everybody is like, no matter what it is, the same incident is both people's fault.
Yeah.
Because the Democrats think this
that-
is Republicans' fault, and the Republicans are like, this is the Democrats' fault.
But even, like, your
liberals.
mom is sitting there, Chris, and she's like, I see the kid's point of view. Like, he was defending himself, but he shouldn't have walked in there in the first place with a gun.
This is the thing, you walk into a crowd where, this is the argument I made with the whole situation back with those two people coming out when the mob was marching past their house. When you introduce a gun into any situation, no matter how, it makes it volatile.
Yeah.
Walking, if I'm in a group and I see somebody traipsing through with a gun, I'm on edge. If I'm holding the gun, it's probably the situation to probably get worse. Like, don't carry a gun to these things.
That's why I wouldn't carry a gun. I'd just carry my switchblade.
A switchblade is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Because I won't have to pull it out unless it's really necessary.
See, I took the time to think on both ends, and yeah, they were wrong for breaking in there. Some of them had guns. And yeah, I can understand why they came out of their house with guns, but Al is completely right. Introducing guns with people with guns, someone is just waiting to pull the trigger.
Exactly.
And I took the time to think of it. See, I don't know what I am. People say I'm conservative or Republican.
I don't think any of us are anything.
I don't know what I am. All I want
you
is...
like who you like. That's what it is. And that's how it's always
which is
supposed
nobody.
I like law and order, and I like balance. I don't want to pay too many taxes, but I want to pay my dues. I don't want to have to worry about if I'm going to lose my job next week. I like security, but I like the thought of I work hard enough to keep my job. It's the perfect middle. Yeah, I'm not just like, oh, I work here, so I'm going to never be fired. No, I want to, like, they acknowledge me for working my job. So they're like, we want to keep him because he does his job.
Because he actually
Exactly. I believe in hard work. I like the thought of back in the day, everyone worked. Yeah, that was cool. Okay, the rich people, they had the money. Some of them fucked around, fuck those guys. But some of them really took pride into having it. Like the story of Scrooge really irked me. This dude was just just a piece of crap for no reason. Your life was bad. Wham. But then he went through this experience like, holy crap, other people go through the same thing without all this money. Is my life really as bad as theirs? Like, no, your life is worse because you have all this money. You think that is what makes you who you are. Yeah. Money doesn't make you who you are. It will either corrupt you or it'll make you see the world for what it is. This money is going to corrupt a lot of people. I worked at Stewart's and a woman won a $5,000 card. As we know, as blue collar, $5,000 isn't a lot. Within a couple of months, it's going to be gone because we all have bills and security.
I can pay a single bill right now and I'll be broke again. Yep.
She blew it within 7 days. She came back and gave me $5. And then she gave other people $5 because they worked with me that shift. Yeah. And I held it up. I'm like, this isn't even going to pay for toilet paper to wipe my ass for a week. Yeah. And she's like, oh, aren't you grateful? I'm like, and I was 18 at that time, and I'm like, damn, I should have been happy to get anything. But that's a 17-year difference here. At 18, I was very ungrateful for just getting $5 freaking for no reason. Now I'm like, man, $5 could get me like a great breakfast, and I'd be happy. And that's, everyone keeps saying, if you don't learn from history, we're going to repeat it. We keep repeating it, and we never get better. The worst parts keep getting worse. But good stuff, the good stuff is still good. Yeah. But we constantly only see the bad. Yeah, 40 some odd kids were saved, but what do we automatically say? We wished horrible stuff upon these people for what they did to them.
Well, I stand by it.
That's justice.
Yeah, but I stand by it too. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. We're happy these kids are safe, but we want our version of justice. I will keep saying, I want Judge Dredd. Like, you're guillotine, just shoot him in the head. That's me. Because if we don't give people a reason to be afraid, what are we really changing? You need fear to really stop these people. But, At least that's my thought process.
I agree with you, but I think it needs to be like this. Like, this is what needs to happen. Because fear is an emotion that'll only work for a certain amount of time. Yeah. It'll work until somebody is so backed against the corner that they'll no longer be afraid and they'll just be angry, right? So fear could work, but what we need is, like, I don't even know how to phrase it. We need a policing system that works. If you're going to police the criminals and punish the criminals, I'm all for it, but it needs to be effective. It needs to be, like, if you're policing an area and the plan is to lower crime, that needs to happen. You need to get the criminals off the street. You need to not make any deals, no plea bargains, nothing. These guys need to get arrested. They need to do serious jail time. And, like... Yep.
On both sides, cops and, regular citizens or civilians.
This is the thing that I tell people all the time, because I've had an argument with a coworker of mine recently about defunding the police. And I'm trying to explain. Understand that for when you hear something like most people say defunding the police, it's not what you think. There are a lot of people out there that really want police forces gone, but the reality of it is, people want legislature passed that controls police. Like that guy that got shot 7 times in the back the other day. Boy. I don't care what the situation is, but there's no reason that a cop should shoot an unarmed man walking away from him 7 times in the back. There's nothing anybody's going to say to me that justifies that. Like, I watched that video 1,000 times. I've heard all types of people say all types of things. And I'm like, this guy was literally walking away. He got to his car. The guy grabbed his shirt and pulled the trigger 7 times in his back. Yeah. Unless you could tell me that this guy reached into his car and grabbed the gun or grabbed the weapon or did something, how do you justify that? Like, and this is my thing. That type of situation. Regardless, there's a lot of people I heard, oh, well, this guy had a rap sheet. Yeah. This guy did this. He was this. None of that is relevant to that current situation. Like, if I have a friend that, like, literally, Chris has got a criminal record. If a police officer shot him in his back and told me, oh, well, he's got a criminal record, that's not going to fly. Yeah. Like, that's not even going to make sense to me. Like, that's not even going to be an argument that you can make that I'm going to be like, yeah, no, it's not. Nope. So I'm not saying that obviously nobody understands the entirety of that situation. Nobody really knows what went down throughout the whole scenario, because that clip is like, 25 seconds long? Yeah. It's not even a full minute, so nobody knows what happened. Yeah. But from what you see in those few seconds, it's an unarmed man being shot 7 times in the back. Yeah. And it doesn't make sense to me. Like,
that's why I don't want to bring it up yet, because the past 4 days, after you and me talked about that, I flat out said, off the bat, I'm like, listen, I don't know what was going on, and like you said, his criminal record has been brought up every fucking 2 minutes. I kept reading about what he supposedly did or didn't do, what public records he may or not have. I've flat out told people, even yesterday, well, Chris, this guy, supposedly he raped a 14-year-old girl. I said, okay. If that was true, I want to see actual verifiable proof, because I can say Elliot is the kingpin of whatever, New York or something. It's like, just because you tell me this guy ripped a 14-year-old kid.
But it wouldn't even make sense to me. If
Elliot abducts women in the back of his freaking trunk. That's how he lost his virginity. He's already told the story.
Trunk and hand me that shovel.
And I take people's heads off in car doors just like Daredevil. Yeah. You interrupted my dinner.
If that guy was in the middle of committing a crime and they shot him, it would make more sense to me. Like, if you walked in a room and he was on top of a 14-year-old girl and you emptied your clip in his back, it'll make sense to me. Yeah, but just the fact that he committed a crime and he did jail time over it, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, so, I don't know what happened.
That was the first thing I said. So off the bat, based on what I'm seeing, I'm like, them shooting him 7 times, I'm not fucking condoning, I think, and that's fucking excessive. 7 fucking times, that's bullshit.
What makes it worse is that according to eyewitness reports, the guy showed up, he was breaking up a fight between 2 women. He's got 3 young kids in the car. Yeah. They shot him 7 times in his back in front of his kids. Those kids are traumatized for life. Yeah. Right? Everybody that witnessed that, that's a horrific situation to be in. And it's wild. And I'm saying, with 2 cops there, if I don't care who you are, if me and another person is somewhere, a guy that is smaller than I am can't overpower both of us. That's just, you would have to be a master of some martial arts to straight take me and another guy, and you're smaller than me, you would have to be some kind of martial arts master to overpower me and this other guy. There are two cops
Challenge accepted.
No,
there are two cops there, and they could have subdued this guy without, like, literally put him on the ground, put him in handcuffs, whatever. Tackle him down hard if you have to.
Fucking times.
The 7 bullets in the back was.
It's like even I said, like, I even said 3 days ago, even if they say would have shot him one time, I feel one shot is excessive. Okay, even then, one shot, the guy's down, he's groaning, because no one's getting shot once and just running away. It's just not, especially in that situation. So shoot the guy once, handcuff him, get some medical people right there off the bat, and treat his injuries.
What happened to the tasers?
Well, then this has been every day we keep reading new reports. This was the one I read today, allegedly, because like I said,
now was this filmed on the guy's body cam?
No,
it was a bystander across the street.
This is according to like the current investigation, which I read today. Which this is every single day, like everything, new information is coming out. The current information was that both cops tased him. The taser didn't work. I'm not sure how true that is. 'Cause I've never been fucking tased. I do know that in certain situations, a guy like Al, a taser may not work on Al. I mean,
that's not true. I've been tased. It took me down.
Really? Yeah. So I just said I've never been, so I don't know. So
I've seen someone get tased. It was, I won't lie, it was funny as hell.
Yeah.
So
supposedly, well, the current report is the cops supposedly they said they attempted to tase him, didn't work. Then they said that when he was reaching down into the car, he kept going. That he said that he told the cops that he had a knife. Then they did find a knife in the driver's seat, the driver's side underneath the floor mat. And he said he was, according to the cops, he was reaching for the knife, and they shot him so he wouldn't get access to the knife. And I'm like, even if all this was true, if he had a knife, do you need 7 fucking times?
Here's my thing.
7?
In front of his children.
What's crazy about that, and the reason that I would, and I'm not even going to go out on a limb and say they're wrong. I'm saying the speed in which it happened.
Yeah.
If the guy was going for a knife that was on the passenger side under the mat, where he went into the car on the driver's side, and as soon as he got to the car, they opened fire. Yeah. Like, I got the video. I could watch it. Yeah. We could watch it right now.
They're trying to defend it. They're currently trying to say that, I guess what is that? The cops that they said they knew about ahead of time that he had a history of domestic violence, that I guess the mother of his kids, that he was there getting into a fight with her. He did have confirmed that there's 2 warrants out for his arrest. Now, the one report said it was a kid, but then the one report said that it was an adult woman. So, but either way, he did have a warrant out. He was charged. And this is why I said it's a gray area, because we've all seen this. You can charge a person with anything. He said he had 2 charges and a warrant for his arrest. He was charged with sexual assault. Now, basically rape. Now, they're saying that he raped a woman. Supposedly the woman that he was at the house there. And this is why the cops got called for, because she called the cops on him, saying that he was there to fucking harass her. Again, it's still fresh. We don't know. But no matter what happened, though, the whole situation leading up to this, even if he had a sexual assault charge, you didn't need to shoot him 7 goddamn times. That's the problem I have about that. He said you could have tased him, tackled him. They even have beanbags, like we've seen the rundown with the fucking rock. Yeah. A beanbag will take down the guy the size of the fucking rock. Okay, 7 bullets. These cops are way too fucking trigger happy. 7 goddamn times. Even if this guy, everything's all fucking legit. It's the point is, the cops as a job, this isn't Judge Dredd. A cop is not there to be a fucking executioner. It's his job to arrest you, bring back to the station, and then let whatever happens. But like, you're just blatantly fucking killing people and say, oh, well, this guy had a bad rap sheet. Okay, he may have had a rap sheet. He may have even had sexual assault. It's not your job to shoot the son of a bitch 7 times.
Your job is to apprehend him and take into custody. Book him, read him his rights.
Well, especially now with George Floyd. A lot of stuff's been coming out about his criminal record. And I'm like, okay, again, no matter what criminal record the guy had, there's still nothing you can tell me, based on his criminal record, why you justified killing him. Okay, well, he had drug charges. So have I. Okay, he was high on fentanyl. Okay.
That's the thing. Whenever you hear people trying to make those arguments, is they're trying to say, well, this guy deserves to be killed. That's the argument they're trying to make.
No one deserves to be killed.
Well, I know that.
Yeah.
But it's
that's the thing.
But even
there's a
you can't justify it no matter what
they're trying to, though.
Is. I mean, I could see like if it's self-defense and like the woman's being raped and like she like stabs the guy.
Well, that's what Al was saying. Al was like, if the cops showed up and shit too, and this guy is on top of a fucking 12-year-old, drilling a 12-year-old, and you shoot him, 100% I'm with you and shit.
But it's like, I'll buy you a fucking beer. Go right ahead.
But these situations we're seeing, these cops are killing these guys, are shooting these guys in the middle of like broad daylight. There's no sexual. There's no.
When there's nothing going on, you're just going after them. That's You're making him look like a victim. You're making him look
even
like a martyr.
With the whole kid, the 17-year-old. Okay, yes, he did kill a pedophile, but like some people were saying, which they're not wrong. It's like, well, he killed the pedophile. We don't feel bad. He killed the pedophile, registered sex offender. No doubt. But the thing is, when he shot him, he didn't know that.
Nope.
So it's like, for all he knew, he shot an innocent man. It's like, I mean, yes, anytime a kid kills a pedophile, kudos. But like, we did that fucking report, remember, like a month ago, where that one little black girl, she killed the guy that was fucking pimping her out. That situation, no, he was sex trafficking her.
Exactly.
She killed that son of a bitch, and remember, they were doing a GoFundMe to get her out on bail for killing a guy that was sex trafficking her and other fucking little girls. That situation is fucked up. Yeah. She knew this guy was a sex trafficker. That situation was justified. These guys are killed.
Not only did she know he was a sex trafficker, she was his victim.
Yeah,
exactly.
And they had to raise money to bail her out.
Dude, there was a freaking Lifetime movie years ago that starred, I think it was like Patricia Arquette. In it, she's like a defense attorney for like guys who are like raping chicks and shit and getting them off. She ends up getting raped. The guy comes up behind her and says, if you say anything, I'm going to come back and do it again. She turns around and stabs him. She's trying to keep it under wraps. When it finally comes out, she winds up doing jail time because they're like, well, you didn't stab him while he was in the act. And she's like, yeah, but he did rape me.
Well, like I said, the thing with this guy, Jacob there, we'll find, it just said, the next few weeks, more information will come out. But either way, it's like, no matter, I looked at the guy, his supposed criminal fucking record, and there's still nothing these cops are going to tell me, like, 7 times? 7? Really, guys? Like I said, there was 2 of you. I could trust me. Fuck what I say. If me and Elliot fucking rolled up on a guy that's like half my size, I don't need to shoot the son of a bitch 7 times. It's 7 times in the fucking back.
Whoa!
Come on, man.
Elliot's gonna RKO somebody because I want to RKO somebody.
Well, I called him something the other night. He said, like, when he was in the Coast Guard, he goes, Chris, when
still doesn't make you good looking.
I don't care if it makes me good looking or not.
Because the man who does the fucking RKO is a fucking god.
Yeah, okay. And I just want to RKO somebody. I never said I want to be a god. I just want to RKO them.
Out of nowhere.
But
yeah.
Carlton was mentioned when he was in the Coast Guard. They trained to empty a clip, and I'm like, well, again, but get fucking trained in the military versus training the cops. It's the point that the cops go to fucking shooting ranges for a purpose. They're not fucking trained to be executed. It's like I could even debate about being trained in the army versus being trained as a fucking beat cop is 2 different training aspects. Okay, so like when Carl was saying, I'm like, well, again, if you board a fucking boat, or if you're over in Afghanistan, yeah, you're not shooting guys to harm them or to injure them. You're shooting to fucking kill. These cops are supposed to be their duty to what? To serve and protect.
Yep.
Simple as that. These cops are not fucking. You shouldn't be. If you guys want to freaking join the military, by all means, join the military and go fucking kill people. But as a cop, it's not your job to fucking kill people. There is plenty of cops out there. You've taught these guys who've done 10, 20, 30 years in the force, and like, I've never fired my weapon once. So.
Yeah, but you have bad people in these communities who want to be a cop for that power trip.
Yeah.
That's the problem, but we don't have the technology to find out who's going to be a sociopath or not. I think they can do better. I believe they can do better, and they should do better.
They make all cops look bad when that's clearly not the case.
Exactly.
And that's the whole fucking political agenda and shit. Because I hate when people say, well, why do you guys focus on the riots, and like say Black Lives Matter, for example, not the peace protests? I'm like, fair enough, you're right. And I'm like, then why do you fucking take 2 or 3 bad cops and make it act like 2 million are fucking pieces of shit? I'm like, political agendas suck, don't they? I'm like, don't you hate stereotypes? So if you don't want to think that every protest turns into a fucking riot, don't act like every single cop is a piece of shit. Because like, we even asked Junior and Al rode behind us. I said, Junior, how'd you feel when you got pulled over? You and Al got pulled over. He goes, I felt, like Junior wasn't like pissing his pants like, oh god, Al, they're gonna execute us right fucking now. Like, I mean, come on. And
you know what pissed me off about that? About me getting pulled over? It was because Chris was driving like that. He was driving serpentine on the road.
What's that?
And the cop
it was
didn't
him
even
driving
look
like
at
that in the first place that got him arrested.
No.
I was like, Chris is zigzagging on the street. They didn't even look at him.
I pulled because of the time.
The guy pulled me
over.
over.
It was 1 o'clock in the morning. That's why.
They said you were like tired and like swerving on the road though.
No, when I got arrested.
When you got arrested the second time.
Yeah, that's because I was coming down fucking from Res at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's why.
Because Terry had said to your mom, she's like, he looked tired. I told him to stay here and like go to sleep.
No, but there was a cop excuse for pulling me over because it was like fucking. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. Plus, he's seen Albany plates, and plus I had prior records, so that's what kind of fucked me. But yeah, but no, like I said, it was a fucking speed trap that fucked us over.
It was a speed trap because that fucker. They pulled. And I swear, my cruise control was on, and I was just coasting down the road, and he was like, "Yeah, I clocked you at 59 and this 45." I'm like, "What?" I was like, I didn't believe him, but I wasn't gonna fight with him.
No, it wasn't, because I watched Chris has a digital speedometer, and it was saying 48, 49. I was like, why were they pulled over? Because we were doing 48/49 down the hill.
But it was the whole fuck point that, like I said in social media, I'm like, I had two friends who got pulled over. I'm like, you said, you people, you act like every interaction with a cop that they're just executing people left and right. I'm like, it's not the fucking case. I'm like, it's just, you're taking 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 events you're seeing on Facebook or whatever on social media. You act like this shit's the fucking norm. It's not the norm. I mean, it's like these people need to get, it's like fire these guys, reform shit, but don't stop acting like it's every time. They're just out there. It's like broadly murdering people every.
The issue isn't that people feel like all these cops are. The issue is that people feel like these cops are doing it and there's no repercussions. Yeah, that's where the real issue is. It's like this cop is like gonna kill somebody and he can't justify his killing, but his department is gonna cover the whole thing up. That's how it feels. Like Breonna Taylor laying in her bed got killed, and then you hear these people telling these wild, outlandish stories. It was like, oh well, her boyfriend was a criminal, and she's dating this criminal. And the reality of it is, they already had the guy they were looking for arrested in jail. Yeah. The guy, the apartment they broke into, this guy had no criminal record. She had no criminal record.
He opened fire.
He opened fire because they did not identify themselves. She got killed in her bed while she slept, and nobody's paying for it. Like there was this guy on TikTok that was doing a video of the guy that got killed. He came to the door with the gun.
Yeah, you showed me that.
And he was like, he was pissed because the guy who killed that guy was a rookie cop. Because the lead cop, was the one that saw the gun first and told him, put the gun down, get on your knees. He complied with the order. Yeah. And then the jackass behind him opened fire and killed him. Yep. And that shit, everybody was like, this guy was not aware of what the fuck was going on. He wasn't paying attention to the lead cop. He wasn't paying attention to what the guy was doing. The guy he was complying with orders and got executed.
Yeah.
And then his girlfriend isn't allowed to touch him now because I don't know what the fuck they're thinking.
And then the cops don't even know what to tell him. Stay in the house. No, come out of the house. Like, well, do you want her to stay in or do you want to come out?
So now people are online screaming for justice for him, and nobody knows what to do with that because now they're like, fuck, man, what do we do? This is the issue that people have. Like, when a cop fucks up, it usually means somebody's life is taken. And when they fuck up to that extent, I don't get to fuck up like that. I can't go outside and shoot somebody, whether it's accident or on purpose or whatever, and just walk away like, my bad. Yeah, I can't do that. So why do the people that we pay to protect and serve us get away with that?
I mean, I think anybody a job, like I know you and me, Al, like if I went to work tomorrow and I fucked up somehow and somebody got killed, I may not have a job next day.
Listen, and this is the wild thing with our job in particular, because we're partially government funded. If we fucking fuck up to the extent of somebody dying, we could potentially face jail time behind it. So, even if we didn't directly, if it was like, even though it was indirectly, not directly our fault or whatever the case is, we could potentially face jail time.
And that makes it even fuck worse with these cop situations. Like if you watch the fuck videos, they're intentionally, like you are intentionally, again, kneeling on a fucking man's neck for 10 minutes. Like there's no like, oops, I'm sorry. Like, no, you did this shit on purpose, asshole. Like,
people can do better. And I say people because, it's people in our communities becoming cops, some for the wrong reasons, some for the right reasons, but people can do better.
Well, this is the thing.
Aim to be better.
Understand that there are a lot of cops out there that are regular, average, everyday guys. They work their blue-collar job and they do their job properly. Yeah. But those guys get made to look like assholes every time some jackass does some stupid shit. Yeah. And that's the problem. Because what that creates is cops that aren't assholes, they're now under pressure because people are looking at them as if they're a guilty party. Yeah. So now they're under the same level of pressure. So what do they do now?
And even Mom said it too when Jacob got shot there. She's like, what do you expect? Mom's like, black people, if you're an average black person and on your phone or fuck the TV or whatever it's going to be, when you keep seeing every single day, cop does this, cop does this, cop does this, after like a month goes by and 2 months goes by, and after time goes by, you start feeling like, Jesus Christ, I keep seeing every single day on my damn phone and media, it's like the cops are shooting people and shit. Like, it makes you feel a certain way. Like I've said years ago, how media, when I was younger as a kid, the media would fucking paint it where it's just like, in Albany, this fucking black guy robs a corner store, okay, next day, You know, it's like, oh, this freaking black guy shot up like a barbershop. Okay, next day, this black guy, and every single day in the fucking news, all I see is black people committing crimes. So people that are like, you know, of a certain age thinking themselves Jesus. In my community, all I'm seeing is black people committing crimes. But then every time a fucking white dude robs a car or something or hits a kid, you don't cover that shit.
Yeah.
So like I was like, even in the fucking 90s, I'm like, why is it every day all I'm seeing is fucking like I have black friends. My black friends aren't like this, but like, according to media, all black people are fucking criminals.
This is where it gets fucked up, because where you're in a situation where you know better, but you see the media trying to spin a story. It's like you pay attention to certain media, and every white person in America right now is a racist. But the reality of it is, you hang out with white people, and you know that that's just not true.
Yeah.
But what do you do about that? Like, because there's you with your singular voice. How do you change the narrative? Right? How do you go against a media conglomerate and say, this is just not true?
Because they're not going to care about your story. That's one story.
Not to mention our voice right here, too. Our voices down here, even people on social media that are against this shit, the riots are still happening. Riots still happening. People are still getting fucking shot. Businesses, like, what was it? Trump just called in, like, now to Wisconsin, they just called the fucking National Guard into Wisconsin. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, and the governors of their own states are giving up. They're withdrawing the police forces. They've had cops to say, like, you guys are on your own. Like, when you're fucking the chief of police for your town or your city says you guys are on your own, like, that's fucked up, man. I believe like
Portland is they're defending the one block for the mayor, but they've given up on the rest of it, and it's been going on for about 80 days. And I'm just thinking to myself, you know, we could all do better. Let's all just sit down and have a conversation.
What's scary is,
get rid of your weapons, get rid of your but I know it's not going to happen. Someone's like, that's wishful thinking, asshole. I know. But if people sat down, we'd find out we have so much more in common than what's different that people's minds would literally explode.
I keep saying this to people, and I don't know who's listening or who's paying attention, but there's a very simple way to bring an end to the riot. And this is all that needs to be done is legislators need to sit down and come up with a way, come up with laws that balance the playing field for all citizens, regardless of race or nationality or whatever the fuck. Make laws so that the police are checked and balanced. That's it. You don't have to be extreme. You just have to make it so there are things police can't do. Like I said, I say this all the time. There's no reason that a police should be called to your house for any situation that's nonviolent, or a situation where you get pulled over, or any situation where you interact with the police. If you're not armed, that police should not have a reason to kill you. Like, that's just the way I feel. If his life is not in imminent danger, there's no reason that a police should show up on the scene and kill somebody. Right? That's just the way it is. That's the way I feel about it. Like, the problem that we're having right now is that nobody wants to listen, and everybody's moving away from the narrative of what's happening with the police, and they want to say, look at the riots, look at the riots, look at the riots. Understand, the riots are a symptom of what the police are doing, and every time the police does it, there are going to be riots. If you want the riots to stop, fix this problem. Pass laws that stop the cops from overreaching. Now, I get that that's going to be easier said than done, because the police unions are very strong, and at the same time, you have to pass a law that doesn't handicap the police. You know, you can't make it so they can't act. You have to they still have to have the ability to act. So it's a lot easier said than done, but laws have got to be passed that balance the playing field. Like, that's just the reality.
Well, if they do it like a normal person, like, okay, was this a justifiable shooting? Yes, this man was coming at them, and if they didn't shoot, they would be dead. And that's justified. Okay.
And that's the thing. Like, if it's justifiable, nobody's going to argue.
If nobody was going to get hurt because of action A, action B should have been, you know what? Tackle him to the ground. If taser didn't work, verbal commands didn't work, tackle them to the ground and deal with the tackle. Yes, reform them, train them much longer, and give them more training in between. I believe Joe Rogan was talking to someone who was in the army, and he's like, give them at least 8 weeks of training every week or every other week. That way their minds stay fresh and they never forget, hey, you know, my life isn't in danger, so I shouldn't pull out my gun and pull the trigger. You know, no weapon was pointed at me or other people, so no immediate threat to life was done. Reform is a great idea. More training is a great idea. Everybody can do better. And I honestly believe that.
Yeah, my cousin said she put up a sign. Said there's a sign in the front lawn. It just says "Fuck them both 2020."
Yeah. I saw a master say 2020 sucks.
Oh boy.
And I was like, I completely agree with your face mask, buddy.
I still want.
2020. I swear.
Jumanji.
I can't talk about the entirety of the world, but I can definitely say in my life, 2020 is hands down the worst year.
Oh,
so
hell
far.
yes.
Like,
oh, hell yes.
Who knows what 2021 is going to bring, but 2020 is hands down the worst.
We yell Jumanji, and we start the year over fresh and good.
Yeah.
No blood monkeys, no chainsaw, knife-wielding orangutans or whatever, and no sharks in New York City beaches.
I don't know how I feel about this, but my uncle just poked me on Facebook.
Poke him back.
Ask him how much money you make from that.
God.
I think I'm going to dedicate my all my social media that I just recently activated, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Well,
I'm going to dedicate it all to just touchy-feely messages of love and unity.
Well,
That's where I'm at right now.
Well, when Junior was here Tuesday, I asked him if he I said, Junior, so me and Al need you to delete Facebook. He said he did it, but it takes 2 weeks. I'm like,
it takes 2 weeks.
I was like, I'm holding you to that. I'm counting. So this was Tuesday, right? So I'm like, you got fucking, what, 10 days left?
Yeah.
But when he's here, because I did want to take Instagram with all of us, not just like 3 or 4 of us. So hopefully Tuesday when he comes down, when he's off his bullshit self-quarantine. So
that's going to be a very awkward picture of 6 people.
Or at least 5 of us. But
I know. It's going to be an awkward picture because someone's going to do something really weird and messed up.
Mama's going to be pissed when the picture goes up with me cuddling the shit out of Sue.
Me holding up a picture. She's going to go and grab that tire out the back of my trunk for me. P.S. I don't own a vehicle.
Yeah, so when we record Tuesday, it's a Tuesday morning, my meeting's up with Jim, and we will have headphones on, so cool. Right. And then, like I told him, the main focus is, like, to get Zoom going so we can start getting Carlton here, because I know Carlton wants to talk about shit. And hopefully other people, too. So any friends
Shout
that
out
Al...
to Carlton and Karen.
Any friends Al might have, or Sue, or just...
I had a friend that wanted to come down at one time, but then you canceled that night. She was supposed to come down that Tuesday night, and then you were like, I got stuff to do. And then I was like, fuck, because I don't know when I'm going to get her to fucking have free time again.
It's like Junior and Molly's like, well, Molly's working 2 jobs. I'm like, at least she is, because you're not. Like,
well, I mean, applying Rogaine on that scalp is a second job.
Junior needs to hurry up and put a ring on it before somebody scoops Molly right out of his hands.
Then that's his own fault.
He's like, I have to hang out with her more. And I'm like, well, that's
she won't be suffocating you. She'll be suffocating someone else.
I guarantee you there are guys regularly trying to hit on Molly.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to put a ring on it for real, for real.
He sent a picture to us in group chat, and I'm like, Junior, tell whoever that is, blink twice if they're in trouble.
Yeah, we listened to the last podcast because I was mentioning, like, constantly setting up Junior. I said, well, I'm never going to set up Al, but, I mentioned, like, how we were going to call it this house. And, like I said, the fat guy in the back, he's fine. But I'm like, the asshole in the Best Buy shirt, he may have drugs on him. If you want to do a full body cavity search, I'm all for that. It was like, me and Al would be ahead of you guys. We sit in the background, you fucking assholes.
No, the gas station was still the best. He was before me, got all of his stuff and started hanging out. I'm like... I was like, do you smell that? The woman looked at me. I was like, it smells like Rogaine and shame. And he stopped in his track, looked at me, and I was like, yeah, I'm talking about you. She's just like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, it's okay, ma'am. We know each other. She's like, oh.
I told him, I was like, Junior, I was not setting Al up. Trust me. I was like, I made sure Al was safe. I was like, but can't guarantee shit for your safety.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I would have used Sue's thing.
Sam the most hated one again, dickhead.
Yeah. Would have been you. Like, I've heard stories that he likes to trick women into looking into his trunk and then push them in
when we
there.
Get, because I was reading up, different articles, even on Quora and Pinterest.
You can't use what's said about you on him.
Yes, I can. In Vermont, nobody will know the difference.
If they listen to this podcast, they would.
I'm pretty sure these cops don't give a shit about our podcast.
Yeah, some of them might get a little chuckle out of it.
Like I was saying, basically based on my Twitter my Twitter antics and stuff, and the Facebook, and once this actually starts getting more people listening,
why don't we set up the YouTube?
That's what I'm trying to do with Jim. It's just it's things he got busy on this week, so. Right now, my current goal with him Tuesday is to get the headphones working and then the Zoom, because we have the wires for it, but I don't have the know-how. But YouTube, I know some symbols we just press a button on record. Yeah, of course, it sounds easy if you know what the fuck you're doing, but I don't want to get too deep into YouTube, but just basically just doing funny shit and like reviews.
I want to get very deep into YouTube.
Yep.
All those chicks sending me unwanted mail, and I'll just give them
Instagram. Like I want to do YouTube stuff. Hey Chris, hey guys, this is Chris and Elliot, and we're laughing at like.
I want to go so deep into YouTube.
Yeah.
That they won't find me again.
Oh, we'll find you soon. In the back of the trunk of my vehicle, they'll find you.
See, though, I will never go into the trunk of your vehicle because I'll never go with you to anyone's car because I know you don't.
You'll never know what vehicle is. Like, oh my God, does this have a thing? Trunk closed.
I will bring the dog with me. He will protect me.
Underbite won't do much.
He will protect me.
That dog is so useless.
Fine, I'll bring Chloe with me. She will be protective.
That cat won't do shit. Mark traumatized her.
Yes,
She's gonna look at me like,
why are all our animals stupid?
Because Mark got his hands on them?
We have a fucking cat mix. We have the fat cat mix fucking friends with mice. Like, she won't kill a mouse. She'll lick it and pet it. Like, you're a cat, you asshole. Kill the mouse. Like,
yo, lately, Chloe, every time she's upstairs, like, she just comes up, she looks at me, and she goes, meow.
She wants you to punch her in the eye like Mark did
and then
to her. Yep, see? Yep.
And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this cat?
She's waiting for that abuse.
I see Christian. Christian was beating her. He goes, and she kept purring. I'm like, yep. And she's meowing and stuff and going.
Has she drooled on him yet?
Yes.
The
more you hit the cat, the more she drools on you.
I wanna. Yeah. Some disturbed part of me wants to know what really happened to this cat.
I don't want to know.
It's like 5%. 95% is like, dude, you don't want to know with man cat. His body's broken. He didn't shower for 4 days. As of Tuesday, you don't want to know.
Yeah. So it's Saturday. Hopefully by Tuesday we get some funny shit because I couldn't find much as always.
I mean, we could talk again about how Mark could kill a corpse with his smell.
Oh God.
Or that there might
be
a kid that
I've been showered for 4 days.
But
showered for 4 days. God damn, man.
Yeah. I gave up my subscription to the gym because my body's broken.
I was saying,
I'm surprised he even has a subscription to the gym.
We're making this whole fucking just generations of introverts are getting worse and worse because it's like literally. I'll do a news story on Tuesday where I read this news story of this guy in Domino's, but like there's some people out there who literally can just between working from home and getting stuff sent to you, like you can just never leave your house for the rest of your life, and like that's not.
Well, technology.
I've been showered in 2 weeks. Like that ain't right, man. Like
yeah, that's disgusting. That's really disgusting.
Benefit. Maybe you should. Hygienic.
Well, a lot of people. Why should you though? It's like, well, I have to leave my house. Why should I shower?
Because there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong.
With your body if you don't shower.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, watch my 600-pound life. I haven't showered in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I watch that as motivation to keep moving. I know someone's gonna be like, "You're a piece of shit." Yeah, you know what? I'm not a small guy, but I watch that to keep moving. If I ever end up like that, there's people out there that will just shoot me in the head.
I'm sorry. My mom was a big woman. She still would get up every fucking day and make sure she took a shower.
That's perfectly fine, though. But
so there's no excuse for these fat, overweight assholes.
Yeah, there is. Like
there's no excuse.
No, they'll find. See,
they can make up an excuse if they want to, but there is no excuse.
But the thing is, what they believe is true to them. It may not be true to us. Like these people may think a ghost or their depression is so heavy that it weighs them down. And to them,
do they believe there's a ghost in their shower that's saying like, "Don't get under the water"?
Let's ask Mark. I'm pretty sure it's like that. What I did to that cat haunts me. The guilt is a manifestation of why I don't shower. But to some people, it's actually realistic to them. Like hoarders, they believe the guilt of losing a loved one is so hard that they can't get rid of garbage because it's like they're throwing out everything they cared about. The mind is a fucking horrible thing. We can create and come up with the most beautiful things, music, art, technology, but at the same time, our minds are so self-destructive, they can kill us.
See, the things that are there for, like, when you keep something when someone dies, like, for a memento or something like that, like, that's fine, but don't keep, like, immense like garbage and bullshit.
Yeah, but that's common knowledge to us. But there are people on hoarders where they're literally they get violent or aggressive when they toss out even one picture out of 1,000 plus. It's a real
pictures
issue.
I can see.
Yeah, but it may be trash to us, but to them, like baby blankets and stuff from 50 years ago, they can't let go. They just can't let go.
But
I remember there was one episode of Hoarders where the woman that was in it, they said that she had some kind of she had an issue where when she was young and growing up, it was hard. Like, they grew up poor and it was hard for them to acquire stuff. And, you know, so when she got to the point where she could get stuff, she would just buy and keep stuff for years and years and years. And
that actually makes sense, because in our family, we do have a lot of people who they won't throw, like, certain things away.
Yeah.
It's
because of that. Because of the fact that there is, like, that mental disability in there where they're like, you know, like, his grandmother, my grandfather, all of them, their mother raised them. There were 11 of them. And they grew up poor. Their father left. My grandfather was the oldest. He was helping them take care of them. So, like, as they would get older and they would acquire, like, certain things, like, they didn't want to throw anything away because they're like, you know, we worked our asses off to get these things in the first place. Yeah. Why are we going to do that?
Exactly.
And then, like, our generation, we became spoiled because of that.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you know, we couldn't get it for ourselves, but now we can afford to get it for our kids or grandkids, this, that, third.
So I just play video games. I literally hoard video games. I think between Chris and me, there's damn near 350 plus video games.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm the polar opposite. I don't. It's hard for me to form sentimental attachment to anything. Like, there's nothing that I have that I've kept. Like, literally, I would move from one place to another, and I would just get rid of everything. I would call people up and be like, "Oh, you want this?" And I would just give stuff away. And
for me, it's a little bit harder because, like, okay, my mom passed away. Anything like, and I wasn't allowed to keep shit that belonged to her. So if there was something like small, where I'm just like, "Hey, did this belong to mom?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna throw it away." I'm like, "I'll keep it."
Yeah, but for some hoarders, it starts out like that, but then they just start continuously hoarding items that are like that, and they just can't say goodbye.
Yeah.
It's their way of coping with loss. Like, mine is extreme anger. Like, I literally curse out people when I'm angry because I lost my godmother, I lost my aunt, and people are like, "What are you up to?" I'm like, "Shut the fuck up and leave me alone." "Why are you like this?" I'm like, "I lost my godmother and my aunt within a span of a couple months. Don't talk to me."
Talking yesterday, me, your mom, and Madhu, because Madhu looked at me and was like, "How's Rob?" And I'm like, "A psychopath?" And he's like, "No, like, how is he?" And I'm like,
her brother's a character.
So I was on the phone one time. No, you want to hear how he's a fucking psychopath? Like, I'm on the phone one time, and he was telling me he either realized I was on the phone and he wanted to scare the person I was on the phone with, or he, like, didn't know I was on the phone and knows, like, I know he's a freaking, like, idiot, so therefore I just have no reaction. Like, when it comes to my brother, I'm numb, whereas other people are probably like, "Oh my god, he's, like, fucking insane." And I'm just like, "No, that's just Robert."
After a minute talking, I zone out.
Well, you know how the fuck it is when talking to him. It's like, you know, he could say the most effed up shit, and you're just like, "Yeah, whatever." It's like, it's Robert. He's a fucking moron.
I think I'd play with him.
Well, most of our interactions, like, it's kind of like, "Hi, Chris, hi, Rob. Bye, Chris, bye, Rob." There you go.
That's pretty much how they are.
She'll spend a half hour with him in the car talking to him. I was like, my God, man.
Because, like, there are certain things, like, we'll have in common. But then other times it's like, also, I can't leave the fucking car because he doesn't shut up.
Susan said
I'll say to him 500 times, "Bye."
She's in a toxic relationship with her brother.
Bye.
That sounds very toxic. You need to cut the umbilical cord here.
I'll be getting ready for, like, shoot. I'll see, like, I hear the car outside. I'm getting ready to freaking go to bed. It's like 2 hours are still out there. I'm like, what are you guys talking about for 2 fucking hours? Like, there's nothing, like, to talk about, especially with your brother.
Oh, he finds a way.
Finds a fucking way to, like, keep bringing up freaking conversations.
Rob, he
meets a freaking girl who I'm pretty
way.
sure is a fucking prostitute. He's fucking in love. He's a mini you in that sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I give Chris enough credit to not go with a prostitute.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been with a stripper and a lesbian.
Stripper's not a prostitute, though. Prostitute's someone you pay to fuck. A stripper is
this
just
chick,
someone
like,
you give a little bit of money to and they take off their top.
Now, Robert has not given this chick money whatsoever. She keeps, like, coming back and coming back and coming back. And, like, she asked him once for freaking money. He's like, "I'm broke." And she, like, cut off from him for about 4 days, and then she came back and she kept talking to him.
I guess the CAC is enough payment for her.
My brother
That's not prostitution.
No, he's a 32-year-old virgin. He hasn't had sex.
Well, then maybe she just feels bad for him.
That's something to share on a podcast.
Chris, did you rub off on this guy?
Is he saving himself for marriage?
Yeah. Tell him to put a gummy ring on it.
I don't even know.
No.
Just tell him not to hit the crazy button when he actually does it, because then she'll never get rid of her.
It's not a
32 years old, no sex. When the first time he has sex, that chick is going to be pregnant. No matter what happens. He could put 3 condoms on and still blow a hole through it.
Jesus Christ.
My 22nd birthday, which is probably like the best birthday I've ever had.
Oh, God.
A long time ago.
Only 8 years.
It's not that far.
So, I'm out. We're all like, it was like fun. It was a lot of fun. We're at the freaking bar. He comes out, and the first thing I say to him is, please do not be embarrassing. Please don't. Because
try saying it to Junior.
I've said that in the past, I think, to Junior.
It never works.
It never does.
Because every bar's got a fat person that walks in.
But here's the thing. So,
can't control himself.
When Robert first showed up, like, Jamie was there, Jen was there, Jen's fucked up, like, metrosexual boyfriend Rick at the time was there. And we're all hanging out, we're all doing whatever, and, like, even Jen's, like, looking at Robert, like, Robert, you're gonna be okay, right? And he's like, yeah, I'll be fine. Mind you, at this point in time, Robert's, like, 24. I was 22, he was 24. So we're all, like, just giving him the side eye, and, like, as we're seeing, like, you know, he's fine, he's cool, we, like, just pay him no mind. So then, we're talking about something, and he blurts out, he's like, well, I'm a 24-year-old virgin, and everyone's like, what?
I didn't make
You remember this, right?
He said as loud as he could in the whole bar. It's like
God.
it's like they've seen a movie where he like the record playing and the record is like, and like the whole fucking bar goes silent. It's like, and that's my sister.
God damn, he put you in a spotlight. You're like, damn, we feel
Worst part was
remember.
one of the people out with us, she looks at me afterwards and she's like, you remember how I told you there's someone out there for everyone? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, don't worry, there is someone out there for him. I'm like, God, I hope so.
I'm a 24-year-old virgin. I'm here at my sister's birthday party. Hey, Sil. Oh, God.
Damn.
And then the next day we told Chris, and I'm like, I called Robert while we were at work, and I'm like, hey, your favorite cousin wants to talk to you right now. And he's like, I don't have a favorite cousin. I'm like, it's Chris. And he's like, I don't even like Chris.
Damn.
And I'm like, well, don't worry, Chris doesn't like you either. Here, talk to him.
Damn, I would not get along with this guy at all.
Junior does because he makes Junior feel better about himself.
Like, do you know what's going on? I don't care. Nobody cares. Exactly.
And then Junior makes me feel better myself. So Junior's always like, you're a horrible friend. I'm like, you're a horrible friend to
He
Rob.
makes me feel good about myself with this hologram unicorn that may or may not exist.
That I still haven't met.
I still think this picture he sent was just some random person where he went out to eat in a hat. And it was like, oh, wave to the camera for me, please. I'm so lonely.
Like, pretend that you're someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor
That's
Molly.
my thoughts.
He's like, she's working 2 jobs. I'm like, is she?
Is she really now?
She's technically working 3 with all the Rogaine she's like
Yeah.
spinning on his head.
Yeah.
With all the luggage she has to carry with his insecurities. We all have insecurities here. I have them.
I give up.
Everyone.
His is just his dad's terrible genetics, and that's a lot of weight to put on one man's shoulders. Especially with a 3-tooth velociraptor.
Yeah.
Go.
God, his father.
Give me the burr.
Go.
Any more stories, Sue?
Some crumble.
Any more stories, Sue? Because Al's going to go to work soon. Can't believe that shit. He's got to take you taking a nap?
Probably go home and sleep for like 2 hours and then go to work 3 o'clock.
Trying to think of like a funny story to tell.
That was pretty funny.
We just
though.
did 3 hours and 20 minutes, so we're kind of good. I'm gonna upload this Monday or Tuesday because we're out of storage, and I still feel like spending $30 for. We'll be fine Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
I've had enough.
Well, since I like
buttload of
finish
shit.
us off on Tuesday,
Yes.
I'll start us off.
Yes, you did.
I'll start us off tonight. Look, everyone, be kind to one another.
oh Jesus Christ! That shit got going.
Elliot, shut the fuck up.
Sue's like, Chris, I just finished you off. Like, yeah, but another shit. It's more fireball.
She even made the round noise, which means yes. She finished us all off.
Everyone be kind to one another. These guys are fucking assholes. I'm a little bit tipsy. I'm leaving.
Only a little.
Only a little. I only drink like 6 of these stupid Seagram shits.
7 and like 6 shots.
But that's actually a pretty good thing. I'm only a little bit tipsy, and I drank like 6 of these in like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. I felt a little buzz for a little while, but I can't get tipsy because I gotta go to work.
Yeah.
Fucking work.
That goddamn goat. Love that goat.
That goat fucking sucks.
God, there's nuts in the wine.
Alright, I'm leaving because I have the bladder of freaking I don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we can tell.
You got your goodbyes, Elliot?
So,
I don't even really know. Stop being a bunch of assholes.
I'll try, but I make no promises.
Take a step back and look at your biases and try to see it through a point of perspective that isn't yours, because you may like something, but to other people it may have a different meaning. So just try to be a little open-minded. That's all I can really say.
Yeah.
I'll say this, in the wake of all the shooting at opposing political parties and shooting of people all over the place, I'm going to say, man, we got to do better. This whole concept of us being this divided is just, it's over the top. It's beyond the point of where it should be. It's
getting scary, too.
Let's try to get back to a place of we are all one, as opposed to I'm this party or I'm that party and it's this guy's fault or it's that guy's fault. That's just ridiculous nonsense. It's all political jargon. At the end of the day, these guys all work for government. They don't care about us. They just want us for our votes, and once they're in, nothing's going to get done. That's just what it is. That's
facts.
How it's always going to be. So, my spiel, now more than ever, protect your neighborhood and protect your neighbors. Really. And take care of the people who take care of you. Donate to your local communities, your schools, your libraries, your hospitals, fire departments, your police stations. And like Sue said, be kind to one another, man. It's time for us to do better. It's time for us to start looking to come together as opposed to looking to be divided.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of like I said, I don't want to jinx it, but some part of me, Al, like you mentioned it like an hour ago, like I do worry that, like, you know, when you hear terms like civil war, it just makes you no one wants to see that in our lifetimes. I don't want to see it in my lifetime, my kid's lifetime. I don't want this shit to happen. Like, it shouldn't be like this. There's no fucking reason. I can't see it. Like, there's no reason why, like, you know, a few cops just destroying an entire society because some assholes. We have like politicians or just like this virus and stuff. If anything, this virus should be making people like more together. But now it's just like the viruses and police issues and politics, they're more driving us apart. And it's like, damn. And other countries are looking at us and they're still laughing at us. Like, you know, other countries are over this shit. It's like Americans, you're still fighting this goddamn virus. We've been over this shit for months. It's like, damn. It's like, I see all the time on Facebook groups, like, damn, like, this shit, you Americans, you guys got your kids shooting people, your cops doing this, cops doing that, like, all these gun issues, like, holy crap, man, like. And
facts. Like
Junior said, we excel at the things that don't fucking matter. So, but as always, my spiel is like, you know, same thing as his spiel, but I laugh with the whole Bella Thorne thing. I'll continue to find these articles and laugh about it when, you know, some idiot who's a kind of not that great of an actress, and she's not that good looking. She's cute, I'll give her that, but like, she ain't worth no fucking $2 million in a week. And this shit only happens because people are stupid. And that's why I said, none of us here, if we get sponsors, cool. If I get a YouTube channel with ads, awesome. But like, I'm not taking tips or donations because nobody here wants your money, nor do we need it. And damn guys, you got stay fucking blue collar, stay safe, and stay a loser if you have to be. But like, you know, none of us here, our bills are paid, and I don't need you to pay my bills for me. I'm not a sex worker on Twitter crying and bitching and moaning and groaning. I can't pay my bills now because OnlyFans, and like Big Al would say, well, how about this? How about trying to get a fucking job? That might work, but God forbid that wasn't happening, right? So, but all right, guys, peace out.